This version of It's Eric Nagel has been modified from its original broadcast. Content has been edited to fit this platform.
Believe none of what you hear and half of what you see.
Are you ready? I said, are you ready?
It's Eric Nagel. And it starts now.
Ladies and gentlemen of the universe, the next voice you hear, it's Eric Nagel.
Well, thank you, Scott Shannon. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Halloween show. I am Eric. Over there is Jordan. Hi, Jordan. How are you? I think you're muted, pal. Turn the mute off. You can't do it? Oh, my God. Now I got to take this thing off and do it myself. Of course, what's going on here? Jordan. Jordan. Hello. You purposely did that, didn't you? Your mic's on, dude.
It is now.
What did you do?
It was muted. Why would you think that I would do this on purpose? All I was saying is you usually have a one shot. You put a two shot up, and I had something in my tooth. I was like fucking picking my teeth.
Halloween.
Where's your head? It's gone.
It's gone.
It's gone.
It's my homage to Sleepy Hollow.
That's pretty cool.
Welcome to the program, everybody. If you're listening to us on iHeartRadio, thank you very much for doing that. If you're listening to us on Apple, Spotify, any of those places that you like to get your podcasts and on-demand content, do us a kindness. Go over there. Leave us a positive review. It does help out the program. And if you want to join us live each and every week as we do said program, go over to our live rooms on YouTube and on Twitch, all under the moniker It's Eric Nagel. And that's it. So it's Halloween. It's all spooky, and it looks nice, and there you have it. That's about it. That's all we have for Halloween.
Good night, everybody.
And that's it.
That's it. We're not going to talk about it.
Yeah. I like this.
It's
really
pretty cool.
Need to see me.
You should get like gloves, so when you put your hands up, your hands are missing.
Right. I should.
That is kind of weird. Kind of freaky.
Yeah, there you go.
I need that for Zoom meetings at work.
Right, just to put it on.
Yeah, just to have.
Yeah, I have the suit somewhere. I got it years ago.
Is it one of those morph suits where you're all skin tight and green?
Yeah, it's weird. That's why I don't want to wear it.
Well, no one would see you.
No.
You're like, yeah, that's a good point.
I could just turn my camera off and do it that way. Go back to the days of radio.
It's so weird.
When radio mattered.
Oh,
anyway, so here we go. This is really difficult. I can't. It's a great concept, but then I can't really see anything. I can't.
I was
going to
say, like, how's your vision?
I can't see. It's green. I can't really see the prep sheets here. I can't see. I don't even know if I have the chat loaded. I can't see if I hit that button.
So funny.
So this was pretty poorly thought out.
I mean, it's good in concept to, like, show off how cool your stuff is. But yeah, if you did this the entire show, it'd be kind of terrible. Oh, hollow Eric.
That could be the thumbnail for the episode. There we go.
Perfect.
All right. We're done with this. There we go.
There we are. I mean, at least that explains why I thought you looked like you're on a green screen, because you are.
Yes. Yar. I yar indeed.
Yar.
Yeah. I was thinking about it. It was 5 o'clock this morning. I still hadn't gone to bed. And look at my hair. It's ridiculous. I was like, what could I do for the Halloween show? I don't want to wear a costume. And then I said, let's bring out the green screen, because I rarely ever use it. So I just took a photo of the studio, and that's what this is.
So
fun, right?
That is fun. We're having fun. We're doing fun things.
And if I knock it over, it looks exactly like that.
Right.
Should I do that?
Doing it just right now, just live, just knock it over. See what happens. Do it.
Okay, hold on.
Why not?
Let me see if I can find the settings. So far for an audio, look, the show goes out to iHeart, so that's audio based. Despite my constant complaining that they need to be doing video streaming, they don't listen to me. We can do
very visual centric. The start of this show today.
Yeah, so we could do that, or then imagine being magically whisked away to Delaware.
Delaware.
Hi, I'm in Delaware.
the best bit ever.
I know. All right, let me see if I can.
Let's knock it over.
If I knock the whole thing down, is it going to be a problem?
I wanted you to knock it down and someone's standing behind there, but it's not someone that resides in your house.
It's going to be. I think it's going to be a problem because this is a big one. This isn't like your normal green screen that people have. This thing's like 10 feet.
Yeah, never mind. Don't knock it down. We don't need one more bit of technical issues to happen on the show.
Yeah, try this. We'll look behind the curtain.
Ooh, it looks the same but darker. It's just that's so weird. What a visual gag. Thanks,
screen? No green screen.
Correct. Anyway,
magic.
So, are you gonna do
having too many toys, too much time on your hands?
Right. Any plans for Halloween? Since we're doing this, as you're watching and listening live, we're doing this obviously on a Wednesday. We're the day before Halloween. We're going to go and be family.
Yes, I have plans. So this is why we're not doing the show on Thursday as we normally do it. It's all kid stuff. Kids got Halloween activities and a parade at school. So I'm going to that. And then they get out, like they have a half day.
Yeah, that's what you're saying last week. Are you going to do
for it? I'm again it.
Are you going to do a traditional, like, go to house trick or treat, or are you going to be stuck doing those trunk or treats that everyone tends to?
Well, we're going to do that because, like, all the towns around here all do big Halloween things just to try to prevent kids from go trick or treating. So we'll do that. They have a bit of a festival going on for that, and then I guess up and down the block. You know, take the kid up and down, do some trick or treating. But other than that. I'm not really the trick-or-treating kind of person. It wasn't that I was too cool for it when I got older. It's just, it was boring. It's like I'm just walking around to people's house. When you start knowing the value of money and you're working as a teenager, you go, I could just go to the store and buy this bag of candy. Why am I going door to door to do this?
Yeah, but the candy used to be much cheaper. Now it's expensive. I'm going to go get, I actually have a costume I'm going to wear. I'm going to go trick or treat with my kids, man. I'm going to go get some of that free candy.
Oh, are you really?
Oh, yes.
What could possibly allure you to go and trick or treating? What's out there that they're handing in circulation?
I need those pennies. Those pennies would be great.
If it's this thing, I'm firing you immediately.
No, I just, I don't know. I just never feel like you're just too old to go have some fun. You know, like the world sucks. The political stuff sucks. Like everything's just beating you down. I'm just going to go have some fun with my kids. Right. I don't care that I'm 45 and dressing up like an idiot. I'm just going to go do some stuff. And then who cares? And, you know, get some candy out of it. I'm already going to be out walking with them anyway. I might as well go up to the door and hold out a sack full of extra candy and just go get some of my own. So I'm good. I'm going to do it. It's going to be fun.
But you have kids that can move around on their own.
Yeah, no, they're very autonomous. So I'm just going to literally just be blending in with the groups.
Right. I don't like the kid can walk around, but only go so far before carry me. I'm tired. I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, that tends to suck when they're that young and they do that.
Right. So going up and down the block is about the extent of the trick or treating that's going to happen tomorrow for Halloween. Ooh. I hate that fucking cable.
It was really loud.
It was yeah, I know, right?
Blow out my eardrums.
Was it really? Was it that loud?
Super loud. Well, at least on my end. Yeah, I don't know how it's going out over everywhere else, but that was loud.
How's that?
It's a little better. Still very loud.
This is Halloween. This is Halloween.
Still loud?
So loud. Like I don't know what happens to your settings every time. Because that wasn't
I don't
like
know.
Last week.
Right.
You didn't.
If it's loud going to you in this system here,
yeah,
I want to see the. I got to turn on the chat so I can
YouTube's coming in. It is way too loud.
It is. Wow.
Yeah, it is. It is rough. So yeah, Keeks is letting us know. So yeah, Tom from Alberta. First time was very loud.
Wow.
I don't know what's going on.
Interesting. All right, I'll drop it down even more. Doing live tech tests.
Well, you know what? The system seems to always reset everything for you. Like every week, it's always like either way too loud or doesn't come through. So this is not on us.
Yeah, this is on
We're
the
trying.
left side too. It's still only coming in on the left.
Weird.
God damn it.
This is Halloween. This is Halloween.
Both on the side.
I mean, it's
there.
better.
How's that?
Now you're speaking my language.
I know. How is that? Does that sound better?
It's good. We could talk over it. Still sounds good.
I
Yeah,
can
like that.
barely hear that on this end, and it's extremely loud for you guys.
Well, yeah. On this particular version is not so loud now, so that's good.
All right.
Oh, I do love Halloween. Yeah, see, everyone's saying it's good now. We're good.
Because you know what happens next week? The Halloween stuff's over.
Oh no.
And then you're going to get bombarded with this. Turkey. Yeah, that's going to be all the next few weeks leading up to Thanksgiving.
I forgot completely about that song.
Yeah. I'll never forget it. It's ingrained in my mind forever.
I forget it because like I remember like the big thing was Rebecca Black's Friday song, and then you brought that in. And I'm like, oh, that's right, the same
this
guy.
was the same guy.
Black
Yeah,
was just like making everybody famous.
yeah.
Oh, that is so funny.
All terrible stuff. All right,
Yeah,
let's
very
actually
good.
get to some show stuff that we
Let's do some.
How are you, by the way? We haven't
I'm
asked how
good.
you're doing.
I haven't seen you. Well, no, we just did a show Saturday, so no, I'm
We
good.
did. This is the third show this week going out to people.
Third show, like we have been putting some work in.
We
so-
had last week's show go out.
Mhm.
Then we did the New York Comic-Con show, which, by the way, if you haven't heard that yet, if you're already subscribed, it's in your RSS feed. So it's in your playlist for Spotify, Apple, all that, iHeart, all that stuff. The video is available up on our YouTube channel. You can watch that show there with the interviews that we did at New York Comic-Con. All of that's there. And now you got the Halloween shows that you're privy to if you're joining us live. And I think I'm going to try to get them to push it tomorrow instead of Friday, but we'll see. See how that goes.
Real quick, Tom is he said, nope, Thanksgiving was 3 weeks ago. Bring on the Christmas. Get your Thanksgiving Canadian holidays out of here. Thanksgiving is in a couple weeks for America.
Shut your mouth and send us all dressed chips.
I would
That's
love
all we care about.
No, I'm good. I've had a good day. I've been actually having a good week. Like I just I feel like everything's kind of, I hate using the term, but it's kind of gelling at work. Like everything's coming together real good in this new position. Like I'm just making some difference, which is nice. And just having a really good time doing it and having a fun work filled day. And then I know we kind of alluded to it last week. I am helping coach my daughter's volleyball team. So we had our first games last week. We won.
You in charge of children? Like
nobody
putting you in charge of children.
They don't know any better. They don't know that I don't care about their children. But no, we were running some drills on Monday, having a good old time. Like it's really cool. It's nice to be able to be involved at least a little bit and do that kind of stuff. So having a good time. So yeah, good week. Very nice. I had a few people reach out about our last show. They absolutely love the inadvertently sexy ads that you keep finding.
Oh, let me find those then. Which one did they like?
One person who reached out said they really liked the last one we did with the tiny little prick. Just had a good old time with that one. And
then it's not Ozempic. What is it called? GLP.
It was like some kind of weird drug. Talking about
the generic for what Ozempic would be. Yeah,
right. And then
make sure how something that's just a little tiny prick can be so powerful in so many different ways.
Right. And then they were talking. Another person, a friend of mine at work on my team, was talking about how he was listening in and checking out some of the stuff. He was actually able to check the live show on Saturday because he's on your site, so he's in Pennsylvania. So he was watching live and he liked the overnight oats one. He said that was really good. So I think we found a good bit.
Cream pie. Trust me, you need this in your box.
Yeah.
So yeah, some good feedback.
I'm always on the lookout for those commercials for accidental sexual suggestions and stuff. So if you're out there, if you come across any of them, please let us know. Send us a link or something. We'd love to feature it. Here's another one here. No.
Want to see your boobs? Send me.
I would love
Oh,
that
so
if it was
good.
just that guy for 10 seconds as a bumper after watching CNN or something, and it just comes in.
Send me. I want to see your boobs. I want to see.
They're just talking about hurricane coverage and all the devastation in Florida and the baseball stadium, and then this guy comes in.
Yeah.
Ugh, that would be fantastic. But yeah, pretty good week. How are you doing? How are
That's
things?
great.
I know you've
Tell
got a
them
lot of
thank
stuff
you.
going on.
And if you're listening out there, tell two. Look, it happens. It spread the word. People actually like some of the stuff that we're doing. So tell two friends so they can tell two friends, et cetera, et cetera.
Jared the Geek brought up, it's not sexual, but I shipped my pants ad was classic. That's the ad that I put you onto where they were like advertising for Kmart. And they were talking about their new shipping options. So this guy was like, I ship my pants. And then like, I ship the bed.
Oh,
we had
right.
that one on for a while.
I'll have to go pull that clip then.
We'll have to pull that one again. But yeah, that was actually probably one of my I think we maybe have done that between segments. So like we were just doing it for, kind of chilling and hanging out. But that one is one of my favorite.
I also want to put those videos up there. Here's something else I got to solicit on the show here. If you're out there, if you do video clips and stuff for social media, vertical and horizontal clips, we need both. Hit me up. Let me know what your price range is, because I got to the point where it's just like I have so much shit going on. It's like I don't have time to do this, and we need to be doing more of it. There's good stuff that gets lost just being in the content of the context of the show that if isolated we could put out there would do very well. So looking for somebody who can do video clips and stuff. I know that's a big thing now. There's a lot of people who are out there that can do it. There's a lot of social media people out there that hire these people. And every time I talk to them, I was like, oh, so who's the person that does your videos? Oh, they don't want to tell you. It's like, all right, whatever. Be that
you
way.
gotta gatekeep that stuff. Like
They all do. It's so weird because they're like, oh yeah, I have a guy that does. Oh really? It's like, well, what's his name? Like, what is he? Can I contact him? So, oh yeah, well, he only does it part time for me, and it's like, that's the answer I get all the time. It's like they all don't want to share. Now, if you're the people clipping these videos, I don't know if they were like, I'd love to have more clients and get more money for doing all this stuff. I don't know. I can't talk to these people, but
right.
The ones who are using people like this will not give that information up. So
it's so weird how people are just so weird to like give out anything. Like I was actually at a store the other day and I was wearing a t-shirt from a company that I like. And the guy who's stocking the shelves, like, commented, he's like, hey, that's a really cool shirt. And when I told him about it, I was like, yeah, they come out every Friday the 13th. They'll put out like a special edition. I buy them. They're like $20. They're cool. I like them. It's a hockey like t-shirt company. And they always tie in with Friday the 13th for, every Friday the 13th. And so I told him the website and where to get it and what they do. And he was so surprised that I was so forthcoming with the information. And it just took me aback. I'm like, are people really that much of a dick? They won't even share like where they got a t-shirt. And it was so weird. It was, a fun interaction, but I was just like, I couldn't believe he thought I was going to keep that information to myself.
It's
like, I have no stake in this.
One of the most ridiculous things too. Like, look, I understand if you're working on a project and you don't want to give up the information of the project, or you don't want to give up the people working on the project because the project's not done.
Yeah.
I understand that. But if you just have casual stuff going on, it's like, oh yeah, we have a guy that we give the episodes to and he clips out stuff and sends it back to us. And wouldn't that guy, if he's doing that, or she, like it's mostly guys I hear that are doing it, but if there are women out there, we don't discriminate on that. If women want to come up and do video clipping, that's fine. Reach out for us to us too, and we'll talk. But yeah, you talk to them, you'd think they'd want to give them more business,
right? Because
if you give them more business stuff, then you think maybe they'll do a kindness towards me, and then they'll lower my rate because I got them 3 more clients or something. I think they all think, no, if somebody else finds out about this person, they won't be working on my stuff, and they get all territorial about this stuff.
This kind of stuff is all networking. The fact that people hide that kind of info just is stupid. I mean, I think
so dumb.
Getting just that amount of pushback on trying to get that information really doesn't make sense. Like I said, it was weird having that interaction where, if something is just simple as a t-shirt, something I'm wearing, something I'm, doing. I have, like I said, no stake in the game. No, I'm not just, own the company. So why wouldn't I give that info? And just it's so weird. I hate when people do that.
Makes
There's no point
sense.
to it.
But anyway, yeah, if you're out there, you know somebody, or if you do that stuff, please hit us up. All the social medias, and I should throw them up there. We have the banner. Why not? Where is it? Right there. Any of the social media stuff, it's Eric Nagel across the board. You can find a way to hit us up there and let us know if you have the skills that we need to do business together. It's like radio when you lose your gig and everyone reaches out to you. Oh, I'm so sorry, man. It's terrible, because they got their job and you don't. And they're like, well, if there's anything we can do to help you out, let us know, and I'll do whatever I can. Okay, great. And you take a couple days, you compose yourself, you start going back and looking at everything, and you reach out to people, and they say, oh yeah, I'll put in a good word. They're not putting in a word. You hand them some, they're not passing along, and then half the time they don't even respond. Now, I'm not talking specifically from experience from me. I know a lot of people in this past year that got let go from stations and networks all across the country, and they're still looking. Like the whole business is god awful. They're still looking, and these are people that all levels and ranges of experience, doing what like what I did, maybe even doing more than what I did in this industry, and people who were still on their way up doing things. They've got marketing backgrounds, they've got all this kind of stuff, and they're having a hard time. A lot of them are finding jobs outside of radio, and they're like, screw this, well, I'm not going to deal with them anymore. And I've talked to some of these people. I'm like, but you were on a nationally syndicated show, or you were in in this market, or you were up in the higher ups in the network. It's like nobody's can point you in the direction. No, they don't. Nobody helps anybody. They all say they do, and then they go, when it comes down to it, nobody helps anybody. And then when they lose, and I've seen this happen too. We saw this at when we were out in San Diego. A couple days during that convention, companies were having layoffs, and then the Monday after, a company had a massive layoff.
And with people that we were just hanging out with, like, it was weird.
Yeah, they were there. They were networking. They were,
gone by Monday.
Kissing hands, shaking babies, doing everything they could to try to find new routes for their career. And all these people had layoffs, and they got blown out. And then I found out, like, within weeks and stuff, it's like, oh yeah, nobody bothered. It's like, I just was talking to these people, or nobody has anything, nobody can help me, or people don't even write you back. Yeah. And then as I've been talking about that with other people, I've been finding it so much in other industries too, that don't even have to do with entertainment or media or anything like that, where people lose their jobs for whatever reason. And because of downsizing, because of automation, because of whatever reason, nobody helps anybody. So it's like, it's just such bullshit. Like, here's what I've kind of have a theory on. When you first get let go, when you get let go, the first people usually to reach out to you before you've even told anybody are not good people. Because the people that reach out to you, hey, so I just heard, sorry, if I could do anything, they're not going to do shit for you. They're not even going to talk to you ever again. They're a bit nefarious, if you will. Just be wary of those people. Like, if you got let go, you walk out of the company, and then a couple hours later, you're getting texts or you're getting messages from people. Like, I didn't even tell anybody. How the fuck does that person know?
You could see him up on the 6th floor, just looking down, going, "I'm so sorry."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they don't care. No, they're going to protect their jobs. They're going to want to. You're the least. No more competition now. Like, you're out. They're moving on, and I think part of it is. We've talked about this before. Radio is kind of becoming a dying medium. Radio, news, all that stuff.
I will. I know where you're going. I will get to that in 1 second, because we are building towards that. I do want to add one other thing, though, is that a lot of the people who aren't helping other people find jobs or find openings or what have you, they're old or older. They don't have a lot of skills. They don't have a lot of understanding of the internet still. And it's not like the internet's fairly new. The internet's been technically since the early 90s in full function of society. the 2000s, right?
Mm-hmm. Thanks,
We're in the
Al Gore.
2020s. We're halfway through this decade. And there's still people in all walks of life that don't know the basics of things. Now, I understand if you're in a position that doesn't need to know video editing, audio editing, any kind of producing, writing, if you will, things along those lines that would make the qualifications for a media. But there's a lot of companies that really rely on marketing, branding, social media. That goes for any company now. And they refuse to learn it. They refuse to figure out how to do videos, how to do artwork or graphic, how to even design posts for any platform to promote your company, promote you, promote what you're selling. If you're a local business, a small business, social media is so crucial to a lot of small businesses.
Yeah.
And they're busting their ass to do it. But meanwhile, you got older people in these corporate jobs that are like, we got people, or I don't need to worry about that. And then this stuff happens. Another, like I heard today, there's rumblings at iHeart that there might be layoffs today. I went looking around. I didn't see any really confirmation of it, but one or two credible sources were hinting that there's something coming. And it makes sense. We're going into the holidays. It's usually their MO. It's how they like to do it. And there's a lot of older people who are terrified, very paranoid for their jobs, for their livelihood, for their position. And on purpose, they refused to move on. They refused to be relevant. They refused to stay up with the times. Look, in today's day and age, if you're doing a show like this, any kind of podcast streaming, some people are fortunate enough to have a staff that they can do all of these things. Usually comics or, influencers, things like that. They have a lot of money they can spend on people to do all this shit for them.
Oh yeah, the Kelsey brothers aren't doing their own editing. No,
not at all. They got a team because they can afford to do that. But when you've got smaller shows like us and people who do live streaming, they don't even have the audio component that we do. They just go on, they turn on Twitch, they turn on YouTube, they do all of those things. They do it all themselves. They got to learn how all this stuff works. They got to learn and figure out, Photoshop and photo editing, video editing, audio editing. They got to learn all of this stuff to stay relevant, to stay functional, to stay moving, to do anything nowadays, right? So many people in that business just looked at it and didn't bother, didn't bat an eye, didn't care. And now they're all freaking out. It's like, well, I might be losing my job. I might be, being run out of here. Well, you're good at what you do on the air, but there's more
what's
to it
needed
than
now
that anymore,
Yeah.
And a lot of the jobs that they do post, they want you to do the jobs of like 6 other people, and they want to pay you next to nothing for it. So it's not even worth trying to find a job in that industry, because you look at the requirements and go, this is bullshit. It's like, we need you to do this. You need to do all this. You need all these other things. And then you're going to help with the sales team. You got to help with promotions. You got to do on there. Plus, you're going to also program the station. And then you're going to air afternoons. And you're going to do all these other things. And we're looking at, maybe $55,000 to $70,000. And you go, fuck off.
Right.
There's no way I'm doing that. And there's no way I'm entertaining that. Well, somebody else will. Yeah. And you're going to get what you pay for. Not knocking those people entirely, but you're getting what you pay for. And it seems the radio industry is what they like to do right now is they're hiring younger girls. And by younger girls, I mean out of college to under 30. So what's that age? What do you got to call it? 21, 22, somewhere in there? Right?
Something like that. Yeah.
21
I'm trying to think.
Let's just go 21 to 30.
Yeah.
Right. And then they're hiring women of that age to do on-air jobs, promotion jobs. They're doing like 4 to 6 different jobs, and they're making at most maybe $50,000. And they're moving them all around the country. They're doing morning shows. They're doing afternoon shows, midday shows. They're doing all these things. And good on them that these women and these younger people are getting these jobs. Fantastic. But you have to realize at some point, if you take these jobs, they're giving out premier jobs for rock bottom prices and adding other jobs to it that you're not supposed to be doing while doing a morning show. You shouldn't be doing then an afternoon show. You shouldn't have been having to go out and do promotions all the time. You shouldn't, there's just too much going on for this, right?
Right.
They don't pay you anything, but they require the world from you to do all of this stuff. And these young people that go and take the job, God bless them. They see an opportunity and they're taking it. I get it. But I don't think they have the foresight to see that that's as high as you're going to get. If you're doing mornings already in a medium-sized market and you're barely making $50,000 and some are working second jobs, I've heard that too from some people. They're working secondary jobs because doing a morning show is not enough to pay their bills anymore. You have nowhere to go from there, unfortunately. And that's not their fault. It's the company's fault because they were able to get people inexperienced, put them as a body just to do whatever in the mornings because they don't care what the radio ratings anymore. They don't. You could be the top station in your market, but you're not billing anything. So you're the number one in the market. Yeah, but you're not making any money. So it doesn't matter what they're doing on the air. Everything has to go to online streaming, digital content, social media content, podcasts, things like that. That's where they can track everything. On the radio, you can't track accurately your numbers of who's listening, the demographics, whatever. Live streaming, the radio stations, that's where they know your demos, where you are, who you are, your breakdowns, all of that stuff. That's what they want. They don't care about the shows. They don't care about the live broadcast. They don't care about any of that stuff as long as it translates to the digital stuff. And if all these young people are going to take these jobs because they want to get into radio and they think this is going to be a great opportunity, I can't fault them. I probably would if I was that age at that point. It's like, I can get a morning show at 23. Yeah, I would take it. I wouldn't be any good at it, but I'd probably, I would take it. They can't do anything and you have nowhere to look. It's like, well, I want to go and do another market. Okay, well, we'll put you in this market, do the same job, same everything. We gave you an extra 5,000. I can't live on that. Yeah, well, the days of doing a morning show, a syndicated show, all of those things, they're over. And I think in a few years, there's going to be maybe like maybe two handfuls of shows that are all radio, and that's it. There's nothing else. All those stations are going to be like network television. If you turn on NBC at 8 p.m. On the East Coast and you turn it on 8 p.m. on the West Coast, it's the same programming.
Right.
It's a national network. I think that's where, unfortunately, radio is going. It's just cut and paste the stations, the network all around there. They're not going to pay anybody. And the ones they are paying are celebrities.
Well, and we've known that for a while when we're hearing stories of like, hey, this guy in, Akron, Ohio does a show that's now syndicated everywhere, or it's being, just pushed out into every market because they know they don't have to have a local market for New York or LA or wherever. And it's like, that's what we're going to get. We're going to get a small handful of people in certain markets. And that's what we're going to hear. It's not going to be any personalized local stuff anymore. It's just going to be whatever they can put out there music wise. And it's whatever they can put out at show. Right. And it's just never going to feel right anymore. Yeah, I've stopped listening to terrestrial radio because I just don't go anywhere. But
I haven't owned a radio
when I turn it on, I'm like
20 years.
Yeah,
I don't own a radio, and I've been in this business since the mid '90s, and I haven't.
Kind of weird. I don't either. Actually, so odd.
It is so odd. Anyway, where all this is leading to is how terrible the market is, how terrible the people are you're working with, because nobody wants to help anybody anymore. That's just where we are as a society. They all say they want to, and a few do. I'll take it back a little bit. There are some people who do look out for you, that talk to you or whatever. It's the older people in management who don't look at anything, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, who got that job? And then you see the person who filled in that job, and you go, okay, makes sense. You're fulfilling a requirement. Or it's like, oh, they're working for next to nothing. Gotcha. So they're impoverished doing this for a high level. And you just go, oh, well, I wouldn't have wanted that job anyway. So, yeah, the people, the management that's still in place are killing everything. Television, too. But you also see it in Hollywood. They don't listen to what's going on there. They put out so many projects that they like. Oh, they want the audience wants this. Okay, we're going to put that out, but we're going to make all these changes because that's what we do nowadays. Wait, why do you mean the movie's getting poor ratings? Oh, there must be review bombing it. No, they don't like the movie. It did terrible in the box office. People are there's videos all over the place. And this is where we're getting back to the internet stuff too. The relevancy, the clips breaking down. Let's talk about Joker 2. All right. The clips breaking down why Joker was so terrible did and performed better than the movie did.
Right.
And the company is trying to say, well, it's these DC fans,
the children that are wrong.
that don't understand it. No, everyone understood your assignment and realized you failed at doing it. And those videos out there that are shit talking your property. Look, some of those channels, that's all they do. Whether the property is good or not, that's their bread and butter. That's what they do. But you have to sift through a lot of that stuff to see what is just them doing what they do to make money and what they're actually on the ball with. Just like news, just like politics, just like everything else, you can't take anything face value. You got to watch a bunch of different things, sift through it all, and come to your own conclusions on these things. They put the stuff out there. These video reviewers, they're right. They're 100% right with how terrible the Joker is. And then you get Joaquin Phoenix, who's like, well, fuck the audience. They don't know what they're talking about. I think I saw a headline today that Quentin Tarantino likes that it was a fuck you to fan bases and all this other stuff.
He's always just going against the grain. He thinks he's edgy.
I'm
tired. I'm kind of tired.
Now it's just like the line has moved so far past you that now you're all you're doing is making your next final movie going to be a bust. Because
the funny thing is they already canceled it. Like, I guess he got so much run with the news about his final movie and this and that he already canceled it. He's like, no, I'm not going to do this now because you guys talked about it too much.
Yeah, he was going to do something about a movie theater, right?
Movie critic. So it was critic. Like, yeah.
Then he was going to do a Star Trek movie, and then he was going to do all the whatever. Radio, news, television, broadcasting. This year, politics, whether you like politics or not, doesn't matter, unfortunately. This year, with the political system and the election year, propelled podcasts and streaming to the forefront of everything.
It's so weird.
Again, doesn't matter if you like politics or if you don't like politics. Politics this year pushed streaming and podcasts to the forefront of what they called legitimate media. They're more relevant now than radio is. Now, we've known that for a while, but there's all this research that comes out that no, radio still, and it's legit. They're not making it up. There's that more people are listening to radio and they got more ears on these things. There's more people listening casually. There's not the days of people would sit there and listen for hours like us on Opie and Anthony or Ron and Fez or Howard Stern. Those kind of fan bases aren't there with radio anymore. Like, they might still be there with Howard, the ones that are left listening to him in those patterns. But other morning shows don't have that listening pattern anymore for that kind of content because they all went to podcasts. The guests that you like, the comics that you like, the hosts that you like, they took their radio shows when they left on their own or they got drummed out for whatever reason, started them up, and now they don't have they maybe have like a portion of the audience that they had on a broadcast radio thing, or if they were syndicated. But again, those aren't accurate, so you don't know. But a lot of shows have moved to the digital medium and are doing fantastic.
Right. I was going to say they're more sustainable. Like, you don't have that fear, especially if you're running it yourself. You don't have that fear of getting laid off. You don't have that fear of just management drumming out the entirety of your
worry all the time that sales is driving the content, because they have sponsorships, they have live reads, they have all these things, but they don't have to worry about sales 100% driving the content. They don't have to worry about FCC regulations, because a lot of them, especially if they were doing radio, they self-police. They don't go all out with the profanity. Like we try to reel it in, but sometimes in a casual conversation, you can say, shit or
hell damn fart.
Yeah. All that terrible stuff. Because it's part of a conversation. It's conversational. It's not shock value. It's not, oh my God, we didn't hit the dump button because you were talking like a normal person. That's why people gravitated to these things. Now, because of politics, again, this year, podcasts pushed to the forefront to heights that we have never seen. And this is only going to hurt radio next year. And look, broadcast news, network news, cable network news are all been suffering from this. One, it's because it's overkill of politics, but two, Kamala Harris and Donald Trump going on podcasts had more relevancy than them going on network television. Case in point, a couple weeks ago, Kamala was out doing a media tour. She did The View, she did Colbert, she did 60 Minutes. She did one or two other TV things. Then she did Call Her Daddy, which is a very popular podcast. It's been around for a while. It started at Barstool, then it was at Spotify. It goes to Sirius XM starting in January. They had like $120 million deal. I forgot her name, Alex Cooper, that was her name. And good on her. God bless her that she was able to make that deal and move on stuff. Now,
125 million. Good for her.
Too big a fan of her show because I'm not the audience for that, and the lingo that they use is really aggravating.
That's that vocal fry that they all do.
That too.
Ugh.
But good on her. She's got an audience. She's got a niche. She's doing what and fine. I'm all about that. No, I don't. I'm glad she's being successful with it. Kamala going on Alex Cooper's show, Call Her Daddy. Now, granted, it wasn't overly riveting, the content that they got out of her, but it was more relevant than her going on Colbert, than her going on The View, than her going. Now, I can't say so much the 60 Minutes thing because that was a different thing where they edited the clip twice for two different CBS programs, and that caused a whole controversy. It's like you changed the answer for the same question. So, okay, I'll give that. It's still a bit relevant. But her being on that podcast was extremely more. It was more well known that she was on that podcast than she was on The View and Colbert and other things. Oh, Drew Barrymore. She was on Drew Barrymore too.
Yeah, it pretty much dominated like the news cycles, and it was all over the internet. It was all over Twitch or Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. Like that was like the only thing they talked about is her being on Alex Cooper's show.
Right now, Charlemagne the God. Nice guy. He does the morning show, The Breakfast Club at Power 105 here in New York, but they're syndicated all across the country. We were supposed to talk to him at New York Comic Con, but there was like 19 people involved and nobody could get their shit together. So we didn't wind up talking to him, unfortunately. But Charlemagne works for iHeart, has his show syndicated. They have a TV component too. I knew it used to be on Revolt and now it's on BET. And I don't even know if the BET deal is still going on. I haven't been paying attention to it, but anyway, he got the opportunity. The company made him the forefront for this. He went to Detroit and did a live radio town hall with Kamala, and it was a big deal. They were promoting it, pushing it, whatever. They do the event. It was forgotten a few hours later. Like nothing relevant came out of that. But her on Call Her Daddy is still being talked about. Okay. And then her new stuff. Now let's look at the other side of the coin. Donald Trump. He goes on Andrew Schultz. The next day, it's all over TMZ. It's all over the news. It caused a theater that Andrew was going to tape his next Netflix special to cancel the special.
Yeah.
Right. And then another place calls up and says, "Hey, come do it here." He got it to a bigger venue. He's doing it at the Beacon Theater now, which is huge in New York City.
He failed upwards. Good for him. I didn't even fail. Like he just got it. Yeah.
Yeah. But you can see the relevant by having Trump on there, whether you like him or not. It was a big deal for Andrew Schultz.
Right.
Then Trump was on Theo Vaughn's podcast. Now I know Theo. I've known him for many years. He's a bit fried mentally. He has mental fry, not vocal fry.
Right.
He goes on there and people were just like, this is ridiculous, but it got talked about, but it was pushed out there. Trump went on, what was the other podcast before he did Rogan? Theo Vaughn. Oh, The Undertaker.
Okay. Yeah.
He did The Undertaker's podcast. That got a lot of attention. Oh, he did Logan Paul too.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that was like a month or two ago. Yeah.
Right. But he did that, and that went everywhere. Then, the crown jewel of it all, he goes on Joe Rogan. I think it's like at 60 million views right now currently, and that was a week ago. Almost a week ago. It came out last Friday. That went everywhere. Everywhere. Internationally, everything was all about him on Joe Rogan, clips of him on there. If Trump had done regular television, if Trump had gone on late night TV, well, maybe that would be a little different because it's him. But the podcasts were the platforms that he went on and showed legitimized. Not that it wasn't before, but now in the whole view of mainstream media, these are the places to go now. The podcasts, the streaming platforms, go and do those things. The late night talk shows don't mean anything anymore. The Sunday morning news stuff, maybe a little bit of, because they're still, they're a different beast. Maybe there's something legitimate to doing those things, but not really. People aren't talking about them like they're talking about Call Her Daddy and Joe Rogan.
Yeah,
so Go ahead.
Sorry. I just think podcasts have kind of taken over what the late night used to be. Remember, like back in the 90s, Bill Clinton playing saxophone on Arsenio Hall was
unheard
a big
of.
deal.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, this guy is running for president.
They've taken over late night TV. They've taken over morning radio. They've taken over syndicated radio. They've taken over primetime television for all of this stuff. All those things that you love are on podcasts, are on live streaming. Whatever platform, that's where they are. And that's where it's the media is. It's shifted there. You can't deny it anymore. Two of the most famous people in the world right now were doing podcasts more so than they were doing television shows and radio interviews.
And getting more out of it. Like it was more beneficial for them to be on those shows than it was to, like you said, go on The View or do whatever show is out there, whatever. They had more either backlash or no backlash from those shows, but people were talking.
Right. Tom from Alberta is saying, it's like, for example, more people listen to Joe Rogan than watch Sean Hannity. Right. But let's go to the other side too. More people watch Joe Rogan than watch Rachel Maddow or Morning Joe or I don't know any of the shows on CNN anymore because they keep changing people, so I don't remember what's going on there. But you get the point. These shows that were supposed to be the go-to for your news and entertainment and information, not so much anymore. And now going into 2025, after the elections are done, who knows where it goes from here for podcasts and for streaming? Because this is the platform. Maybe this is the year coming up where Hollywood, instead of going on late night shows to push their movies and their projects, they're going on popular podcasts and live streams to push these things now.
Well, if you think about it, that's kind of already how it's working. Look at Conan's podcast. You know how many people go on his show, and I've learned more about certain celebrities' projects through that than I have through any of the other outlets. Like that, he has learned to shift his model because he could be doing late night, but he'll do his shows on Max, but he does his own show. It's popular, and a lot of other celebrities are doing either rewatches of their show and getting people on, or just doing the talk show bit where they are interviewing their friends and bringing more celebrities on. I think that's the route they're going. Yeah, it's just slower to catch up. So because people still think the late night model is where to go, and no one watches late night. Everything from Fallon gets chopped up to be TikTok bite-sized. These little bits. Clip. No one hears any new stuff from that.
Yeah, it's insane, and we've talked about it so many times. I grew up on late night. I grew up watching Carson because of my dad. I grew up David Letterman for me. Jon Stewart had a late night talk show on MTV before he even got the Daily Show. I used to watch that on MTV. Conan, when he came around, loved Conan. And then Daily Show came around with Craig Kilborn, and then it turned into Jon Stewart's thing. These are all the shows that I grew up on and influenced a lot of my ideas for work and for doing these things. And it's just not that way anymore. I was thinking about it the other day. I was still up. It was like 6:30 in the morning, and I'm getting the kid awake to get ready for school. And I'm sitting there, I go, man, at this time, I would have been in the bathroom right now, brushing my teeth. I would have had the radio on loud in my bedroom so I could hear the morning show that I was listening to while I go into the bathroom, get ready, come back to get changed, go downstairs, turn on a different radio so I could listen to what I was doing. It's like, there's nobody to listen to anymore.
No.
It would have been Howard. It would have been, Scott and Todd. It would have been Jim Kerr. Trying to remember some of the morning shows that I used to listen to, but I always had to have the radio on. Dr. Dre and Ed Lover on Hot 97 I listened to for a while. There's just that there's nothing. I can't even tell you who's on the radio in most stations anymore. And I used to know all of that stuff. That was one of the big things for me on O&A was like every market we were in, I knew the station, I knew the shows, I knew the people, I knew what we could attack, what we could go with, and I don't know any of that stuff anymore. It's changed so drastically that there's nothing relevant to pay attention to.
Yeah, I think there's one local radio show out here that I know still going on like their alt rock station, like metal, all that stuff. I don't know what any other channels are. I don't know if they've shifted to a different, market. I don't know what's going on. Like that's just how much I don't pay attention to radio anymore. And there's just almost no reason because everything can be found somewhere else.
Yeah,
I've got,
and they're doing it better on live streaming, and podcasts are doing it better than what most television and radio are doing now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's curated. Like I just pick out what I want.
Right, and if you don't get a chance to watch it live, that's okay. It's there available immediately for your podcast, for your YouTube viewing, whatever you want to do. And thanks to the streaming services, you don't even have to watch network television. If there's a network show that you still enjoy watching, while it's airing on television, it's on Peacock, it's on Hulu, it's whatever. It's there at the time that it's supposed to air. It's already available on the streaming service. So I don't even go. Like can't even remember the last time that I watched HBO for any of that stuff. If I want to watch Last Week Tonight or Bill Maher or something like that, it's right there on Max. So I can stream it while I'm working. And I watch it there instead of watching it on television.
And these streaming sites are starting to kind of go back to that model. I mean, look at how they've been piecing out Agatha all along.
Keep talking. I'll be right back.
You always leaving. Agatha is curated to a point where every week when it comes out, like we're doing this on a Wednesday, it comes out 6 p.m. and I think West Coast time. That's not how it used to be. I mean, Netflix has done the thing where they'll throw out an entire season. Everything's right there. You watch it, you binge watch it, then you never talk about it again. Some of these streaming models are starting to realize that, if we put everything out all at once, no one's going to talk about that show after about 3 or 4 days, and then no one's ever going to watch it again. So Disney started to kind of move to weekly releases. So you've got, your Marvel shows, an episode a week. Agatha's been doing that. This week is the finale of Agatha. They're going to put out 2 episodes. But they've been putting out not even just on a certain day at, you'll have it in the morning. They're literally picking 6 p.m. It's just so random to be able to do that now. And that's where we're kind of going. I mean, even Disney Plus has started adding live TV options. So they're it's weird. All these streaming sites are reinventing television again.
What was it that we saw like a week or two ago that was unusual, but it was on the top banner for Disney Plus. Remember, it was something live.
Oh, they were doing.
Was it the debates?
There was the debates. Yeah, you could watch the debates on Disney Plus because it was all tied into your Hulu or whatever site that whatever thing CBS or ABC or whatever owns. It was all there. We were watching debate stuff. You and I know you would watch some of it on there, or you saw it. And that's where I was catching it.
Right.
And that's where they were doing that. But like I said, I mean, even just recently, Agatha came out today, but it wasn't one of those things where they released it like 3 a.m. So then by, 6 p.m., you've got, all these sites ruining the bit and no one can catch it. No, they release it at 6 p.m. and that's when everyone gets it. So the sites aren't ruining the twists. No one's screwing everything because everyone gets it at the same time. And that's how it used to be over the air television, and now they're all kind of going back to that model. It's weird that they tried to reinvent it, and they're all going back to the old way. But now you got to buy it in sections.
Human conditioning, I guess,
right?
And viewing patterns. All right, enough of that stuff. Podcasts are the future. Streaming is the future. Radio is hopeless. There's no way to fix it unless current management leaves. And the way things are run, that thing is just going to be DOA. And they all say, oh, everyone says radio is going to be dead. No, it's going to be dead. This year proved how irrelevant radio was.
It's dumb. Let's talk about something way more fun. Yesterday, as we're doing the show, was the anniversary of Hurricane Sandy.
That is so weird. How did you know I was going to say that?
I know better. smart that way.
Oh, you saw my pointer over it, didn't you?
I have
You
no
cheater.
idea. Look, I'm
Okay.
trying to help. I'm trying to transition.
Okay, you saw. I was going to be like, how the hell did he know I was going to mention that? And then
Look, we're just that good.
I see my pointer is over it. Okay. Yeah. So yesterday was the anniversary. This would be, where are we? 24. This would be 12 years ago that Hurricane Sandy hit the New York City area and caused all kinds of devastation, and was an eye-opening look at some of the corruption in federal, local governments, and insurance companies, because the insurance companies refused to acknowledge it as a hurricane. They kept calling it Superstorm Sandy.
I remember that. Yeah.
If they said, well, if it didn't qualify as a hurricane, it was a superstorm, they don't have to cover as much as they did. And that got fought for at least a couple years until the insurance companies had to admit, okay, fine, we have to do this. New regulations went in place. Like, picture this: New York City, the surrounding suburbs, had to have regulations as if you had a house on the Outer Banks of North Carolina or in Florida, where your house had to be lifted up a story.
Yeah.
So you can't have your house on the ground in most places. It had to be lifted up a story in order to remain livable and get funding for insurance from the cities, from the state, all of that stuff. I remember my brothers and sisters' houses, because they were right there on the water. They got hit pretty bad from Sandy, and my sister's house had to get lifted. Yeah. So where her house was, now there's about an 8-foot lift, 8 to 10 feet, that you got to go now up the stairs to go into the house, instead of the house being right there at sidewalk level. Ugh. Whatever.
Yeah.
But
sucks.
Yeah. So I just wanted to bring that up because that was a big deal here. There was other dates, by the way, that we've glossed over this year, and maybe rightfully so, because
a lot of it seems like a gloom and doom for you and your history of the shows that you've been doing.
Well, our first show with iHeartRadio was October 13th, 2017. So we just missed that anniversary.
Wow.
So we've been on for 7 years with iHeart, which is fantastic. And we got extended for another year, I think. Maybe I got to check if it was 1 or 2, but we were extended till next fall at least. So that's good.
Thanks, iHeart.
So October 13th, 2017 was our first show at iHeart. October 4th, said this wrong. Nope. October 4th, 2004.
2004
was the first show that we did as Opie and Anthony, coming back from a year and a half of being suspended and not allowed to work. The first show that we came back on XM satellite radio at the time, October 4th, 2004. The last show, so that was 20 years ago. 10 years ago was the last Opie and Anthony show.
Jeez.
June 27th, 2014. And then Hurricane Sandy. So, yeah, there you are. There's some dates that you need to know about. And also this Sunday, Saturday into Sunday, November 3rd, turn back the clock. So if you're in these continental United States, except where Jordan lives, the rest of the civilized world is turning back the clocks 1 hour. I hate this.
We don't care about Martin Luther King Day or turning back our clocks. We are
apparently not.
We're a good state.
I hate this. It's really annoying. It's such a pain in the ass. They're saying, oh, it's supposed to help the farmers. And then that's a bunch of bullshit. And then it's like, oh, it's supposed to help the kids going to school. And that's a bunch of bullshit. Because I don't know kids that wait around at the bus stop anymore. Everybody's kids are being driven to school, and there's carpool lines and drop off lines and what have you. My kid, I have noticed, because the sun's not fully up when they have to get up, will not get up now because it's still dark out. And that's the excuse. It's still dark out. I don't get up. No, it is. And I got to have blackout curtains, but I got to pull back and show, look, see, you can see the sun's coming up. You have to get up. No, it's and I kind of agree with her, because I'm looking outside. It goes, it doesn't look like it's 7 a.m. It really doesn't. And it's dark by 6 p.m. now. So this will all switch and we go an hour back. So now that when we drop back an hour, it'll be dark by 5 p.m. So it's just a clusterfuck all the time. So November 3rd, mark your calendars that you jump back fall back an hour.
Yeah, see, I like
Whatever
it. For
that
me,
means
it's
to
going to be
you.
nice for the show because then like I get off work at 5 o'clock my time and then have an hour buffer before we technically would go live.
Right.
So like now I'm not doing all the prep during the time we should be going. Like it's going to work out for me. It sucks for you guys, but it gives me an hour. So I'm excited.
I had a video clip. I can't find it.
He said,
Huh. I don't want to say it yet because if I don't have the video, I don't want to talk about it.
you don't want to ruin it.
It's not in our button bar. All right, let's transit. I'll come back to this thing here. Let's talk about the stupid pickle witch.
I was going to say, let's talk some food. I'm hungry.
All right, tell us about the pickle witch, Jordan. What's going on with that?
So Jimmy John's just recently, I think within the last week, decided to make a pickle witch. So it's a large, full-size sandwich. Like this isn't just like, a small pickle. This pickle is like the size of my forearm.
Right.
And then they're making a sandwich out of it.
GMO pickles.
I mean, this thing is huge. Let's see. Yeah, last week Pickle Witch was out for a limited time. It's basically their take on their traditional sandwich. 2 halves of a crisp Jimmy Pickle, which I hate when they do promotional things like that. Pickle promotion includes a turkey Pickle Witch. It's got turkey, provolone, lettuce, and tomato. And then they do the Vito, which is kind of what I usually get at Jimmy John's. It's salami, capicola, provolone, onion. It's their Italian sandwich. And then they've got they decided to put out their pickle chips. So they're just going all in on the pickles. And this one is a jumbo kosher dill pickle. Now it's hard to tell size on this picture. Do you have the other picture as well?
This.
Look at the size of that. Like that is a full on, it looks like a 6-inch sandwich. It's just a pickle. So yeah.
We saw this about a year or so ago on TikTok and stuff. People were like, "Oh, we're making sandwiches out of these pickles," and look how like they were doing them at county fairs.
I saw they were doing the pickle corn dogs where they would stuff a hot dog in a pickle and then batter it and do corn dog pickles. They were doing that at like downtown Disneyland. Like everyone's trying to reinvent stuff, but I mean, I don't know. I kind of want to try it.
I don't know if I want to try this or not because
do you think
the last time when we saw it on the other videos, about a year or so ago, I was just like, pickles are not meant to be a sandwich.
Yeah, they're a topping or a side.
Yeah, exactly.
Or, a food group when you're just bored and eating pickles out of a jar, which I will do.
None of this makes any fucking sense because people just love, I guess, to companies love to try to get a gimmick to get all this stuff working. And my camera just died out, didn't it?
Yes, it did. And it's such a good way. You're blinking. You're completely blacked out. Couple things. There was a weight loss coach that actually tried this pickle witch. This is her quote about the pickle witch.
Fun.
Yeah, you just keep doing that.
On and look at it's like a.
I'm glad I'm not epileptic.
Yeah.
So this woman who is, I guess, a weight loss coach, she said, "This is not good, and I love pickles." She said, "Save your money." That's my worry about a pickle witch is that it's just going to be too much pickle. And then I think that sounds like a terrible sentence. I shouldn't be saying that. Pickles are great. So I
love pickles. I want pickles with every meal. But the problem is that I can't eat a sandwich like this. And I've been seeing people today that they all are posting, we went to gym, like, because radio people do this, and then other people that think they're influencing or they're on top of current events, they all go, "Oh yeah, this is fantastic. We got the pickle sandwich now, and we're gonna try this out." And then you look at it, it looks this. I can't look at me. It looks disgusting. It looks terrible. As we saw from this photo here, it's just like it needs bread.
It just feels like a lot.
I found a guy. A lot of food reviewers. There are a handful that are really good. They talk to you, they explain things, they talk to you like a normal person. They're not doing it just to try to get attention. The majority of food review people are god awful. Do you want to play? Yeah, let's play this one here. Look at this guy here. Whoops.
Jimmy John's just dropped a new pickle witch, guys. Yes, a pickle sandwich, and we're gonna find out if it's an abomination or not.
You forgot the pickle!
Not to
Now, say that thing there where they use clips from other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This guy's monetized.
So how does he get away with
You're
getting...
stealing stuff from not just from Nickelodeon, from Viacom, one of the most powerful entertainment companies and media companies.
Very litigious, yes.
I guess they can't monitor everything. And then if you went and say, I hope this guy gets struck or something like that, people will go, what are you going to be like that? Just, people are trying to do stuff and be fun. And he's just having a good time and all that. Yeah, but you're making money using everybody else's shit. And it's not like a fair use thing here. You're just throwing in clips for all this stuff. Outside of that, it makes your video more annoying. It's not more relevant. You're not being entertaining. This guy's his name's Luke Foods. He's already annoying enough as it is with a lot of his reviews. But when you're putting in these clips in as little interstitial things, just makes it worse. So I purposely brought this one up here just to show how bad. Apparently, I mean, look how many did he buy? 2, or is it super long? Because it's like
that's got to be 2. There's no way there's that much pickle.
And then they give you pickle chips as well.
You know what it is? Look, okay, so one of them is the turkey, one of them is the Vito, which is their Italian sub. So he's holding up closer to the camera the Italian Vito, and the other one is the turkey. So he got basically all of it.
Jared in the chat is saying this guy is amazing. You like this guy?
I mean, people like what they like. I mean, for a long time, I used to really be into Keith Lee, and I kind of fell off of that because he got
the
too
wrestler.
Popular. Right. No, that I guess he's based out of Vegas. He's that guy that would go review like mom and pop shops to try to get them some advertisements and rate their food, and then everyone would just blow up with popularity and stuff like that. So that's who I was into. This guy, I don't know, like he's just very like overly animated sometimes. So since Eric's I was gonna say you're back. I was gonna just keep playing the video, but control that. Get it going.
We're going to keep going with this. Here we go.
They definitely didn't forget the pickles today. For $7, this is the turkey and provolone version, and that's a lot of money for a pickle. But yeah, let's see.
My big issue that I'm seeing right now is all my toppings are going to slide right out of that thing. Like, there's
no friction or something from the bread to grip the food that you have in there.
Right. Yeah. Everything's just going to slide right out.
Okay. Jared redeemed himself and he goes, it's so bad. It's great. I don't subscribe to him, but his awkwardness is a watch for me. Okay. I get it. He's definitely a hard R is what I'm going to say.
Bringing it back.
Okay. So sadly, this isn't enjoyable at all.
Okay. So he has the turkey sandwich there, I guess. Right.
Yeah. That's the turkey.
I'm amazed.
It's coming out.
Not that I want to, but I'm amazed that look at it there. I could just picture them putting tuna on this. Like they would, and you would try to take a bite and the tuna fish would just shoot out all over the place, especially if you're in your car like this dumbass trying to do food reviews instead of sitting at a table.
Jimmy got himself in a real pickle in this one.
Oh, fuck off. And he's wearing it's an Apple Watch. I was going to say it looks like a calculator watch, which would have been fitting.
So this is my first time actually trying Jimmy John's. And
wait,
this is his first time eating Jimmy John's?
I was about to say no shit if you say first time I'm trying the pickle sandwich. Yeah, they just came out. But if this is his first time trying ever. I've had Jimmy John's once or twice. I mean, I live in an area that you don't need to go to places like this to get good sandwiches. But I've had it when, traveling somewhere. The problem with Jimmy John's, even with the regular sandwich, their bread is very narrow. Mm-hmm. It's not like a wide sandwich bread. Like if you want to talk chains, like a Jersey Mike's, they have a wide sandwich bread that you can sit there and hold your food and you eat it. Theirs are very narrow. It's like you're cutting open baguettes. to make a sandwich, and that's just not the right kind of bread that you need for a sandwich like this.
And honestly, yeah, this isn't a good start, okay? I'm not really even a fan of the meat either. Like, it's just kind of fictitious, kind of fake, kind of rubbery. And the pickle itself, it's too much, okay?
I hate his pontificating and breaking it down. The meat is kind of rubbery. No shit. They're using, processed cold cuts at these places. It's not real turkey breast. It's not like fresh carved turkey breast that you would get at a deli.
My other issue now that I'm looking at it is, how would you put condiments on this thing?
Well,
how are you going to spread
is also saying, depending on the condiments that you can put on there, a pickle would be 0 carb. So yeah, I guess for dietary concerns, this would be better for people. Especially
but I always wrap it in the lettuce anyway.
If you got that, if you're one of those people that gluten's a problem for you, I guess this would be a way to go. But also gluten-free wraps, much better than a fucking pickle sandwich. Pivotal P in the chat. Primo hoagies for fast food subs.
See, is that a local thing? Because I've never heard of this.
I'm trying to remember. Primo, I know is a brand. I don't know if I've had Primo.
Yeah, we've got our standard like Subway. We have Jimmy John's. There's a place called Mr. Pickle that I go to, like right by my place. They're pretty good. They've got this bread. I guess everyone's finding it very like their new thing. It's called Dutch Crunch. So it's like almost not even a French bread. It's just like a square bread, but they brush the top over with something and almost caramelize the top where it's got this crunch to it. And it's not bad, but I'll still stick to a traditional wheat bread or something like that.
Having something on a bread that's not a grain or some kind of seasoning is weird. I'm trying to remember which chain did. I think it was Subway. Subway does a thing where they have like some kind of burnt cheese on top of the bread.
Oh, the Italian urban cheese.
Yeah. Okay. So it has the cheese on there. Any of those places where they put, like, if it's not poppy seed or sesame or everything bagel or even like a garlic, rosemary, thyme kind of combination, like an herb or seeds or something, go on a bread. When you add all that extra shit on top of it, it ruins the sandwich because the bread is terrible, and that means the sandwich is going to be terrible because no matter what you put in between it, if the bread isn't good, the sandwich is ruined.
Now, Subway put out a ghost pepper bread. Are you big into those kinds of things? I've got a friend, Casey,
I think
who
ghost
brought
pepper
up
stuff's kind of bullshit.
Cheddar and jalapeno.
Ghost peppers were supposed to be the scary hot pepper chain, right? And then they commercialized it, so it's just a chemical burn. It's not even what a real hot pepper would be. I don't care about any of that stuff. None of that stuff means anything to me. I went a little late night delusional shit posting on my end.
Boy,
I'm watching some Mexican food truck.
I just assumed it was Doctor Who, so I'm glad you're gone in this direction.
There's a Mexican food truck. I don't remember what location it was at, but this guy would make food based on stuff you would bring in order to prepare it. So you could bring your own rolls. This one guy brought a giant bag of flaming hot Ruffles potato chips. And he brings it to this guy and he goes, can you make me essentially, like a garbage plate or something like that? What is it? Frito pie? When they make the Frito pie is fantastic. They're all fantastic. This guy brings a giant bag of flaming hot Ruffles and he's like, you want me to do this? Yeah. Okay. The chef, the guy behind the counter and everything in this truck, unfazed by it, got his scissors, knew where to cut it open like an envelope, went and did his seasoned chicken. He put all these vegetables, sauces, all this stuff here. Now, granted, had it been presented in a different way, I would have been all about this, but I hate the flaming hot stuff. And even the chef was sitting there just shaking his head because the stuff that he had, the sauces and the salsas and everything he had, as far as spice goes, legitimately blows the flaming hot artificial stuff out of the water. So if you're going to want the spice stuff, get the legitimate stuff. Why are you bringing flaming hot anything or those Takis? Any of that garbage? Get a bag of Fritos because it's just corn chips or tortillas, and then let the guy's masterwork be the thing that has all the flavoring and the seasonings, not the chemical burn that's going to negate, his chicken recipe and his sauces and all that.
It's funny because there's like an actual term that kids use when, they want someone to do their thing, and you almost completely avoided it in a situation where it would actually make sense. You didn't say let him cook.
No.
How ironic.
They say it in wrestling all the time. They say it for football. I've been seeing some of the commentators now have been saying, "Oh, he's cooking out there. Let him cook. Oh, there he goes, right out to the." It's like, you guys are like 50 something. Stop using kids' terms. Stop trying to do Fortnite dances. Even Fortnite dances are outdated by this point. Stop trying to be hip and with it. Just call the fucking football game like a professional. Anyway, yeah, the flaming hot stuff is terrible. Tom in the chat is saying flaming hot is synthetic
capsin.
Capsin? What is capsin?
It's like the chemical in that you get from like jalapenos and things like that. It's what makes things hot.
Okay. Our pal Twisted's here. Hi, Twisted. How are you? Go check. She's saying chemical burns doesn't taste good at all. No, it doesn't. None of that flaming hot stuff. And I blame Frito-Lay's till the day I die for how terrible their products are and for making and popularizing flaming hot as a brand that has ruined the children of this nation. Them and Takis, which I don't think Takis.
Lay's are the worst.
Okay.
I do love me some salt and vinegar.
I understand that.
Everything else, they're terrible.
I can't fault you so much for that, but I've told you, I'm like, there's so many better brands to do salt and vinegar chips.
Oh, I know.
Than that. Find hers. Even find Utz if you have them out there.
Salt and vinegar chips are the random ones that I actually like a kettle chip on. Like, I'm not big into kettle chips, but salt and vinegar kettle chips, 100%. I'll eat those all day long.
This is another thing they said. I suggest you let that marinate. Fuck off. Block. I'm reporting you for racism. That's what I'm doing. If you say these kind of terms, I will go to the extremes. This person's inciting violence, so sent report full of hate stuff. Anyway, let's continue on with this douche.
This guy.
I'm actually a fan of pickles. I like them, but not this.
I'm sure he is.
Because it's just like, it's so hard. It's so huge. Like, you can't even get your mouth around it.
He doesn't even know what he said.
That is it. All right. That's exactly what we were doing with the sex commercials.
Cream pie, trust me, you need this in your box.
I'm not quite sure how something that's just a little tiny prick can be so powerful in so many different ways.
I love pickles. It's so hard to get your mouth around. I need to isolate that too.
That's it. You got it. We got another one.
I'm writing that down.
It just keeps happening.
Isolate.
It helps that we're juveniles and it will just immediately pick up on that.
Yep. That will be for next week when we put that out there. All right, continue.
It falls apart like crazy, and even though I said the pickle is huge, it's not big enough for $7, bro. Like, look how small this thing is. There's also a Vito pickle witch with salami and capicola.
Why did he say it that way? A Vito?
Because he's
spectrum adjacent. He is definitely
he's
on a list.
Like, it's like the end of the spectrum and he's about to fall off of it.
Yeah.
He's like a flat earther for the spectrum people.
There's also a Vito pickle witch with salami and capicola.
Oh, fuck off. I will say this. At least he didn't say gabagoo.
At least he gabagoo.
He didn't say gabagoo, but the capicola, still not acceptable. Twisted saying, I love hint of lime Tostitos. Yes, those are fantastic. Any kind of those corn chips, white corn chips. I like the Catalina style sometimes, depending on the salsa that I'm using. Because, look, say what you want about chilies, but how great is it when they come out with the bag of fresh fried chips? They dump it into the basket, and you got the salsa.
And they're still hot, and
they still got the oil on them.
Oil and salt, and it's just hot. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like sometimes you don't even need the meal. You just want to go to Chili's just for the free chips, right?
I'll eat my weight in the chips before every Mexican meal.
Sir, you can't just have all the no, look, I'll buy beverages. I'll keep I don't even drink. Just charge me for something. Charge me for whiskey shots. I don't care. Just keep bringing these out. And then you know what? Maybe also a plate of Southwestern egg rolls with the avocado ranch.
Oh, yeah.
They took all my other favorites away.
Talking about it.
So that's all I eat now. They got rid of the Shinerbach ribs. They did that a long time ago. They got rid of a lot of the other sauces for the ribs. So that's terrible. They don't have the Memphis dry rub ribs anymore, which I also loved. And what else did they? Oh, and I will go to my grave saying this. Their spinach artichoke dip was the best.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Out of any of those chain restaurants, their spinach artichoke dip was fantastic. And then a few years ago, they dropped it when everyone thought queso was the new buzz food for Tex-Mex and Mexican adjacent restaurants.
Yeah.
Everything had to have queso. Remember Chipotle? Like, finally, we've got queso, and their queso tasted like you drank Elmer's Glue.
Hated it. Everyone hated
terrible.
That stuff.
It was god awful. It's boring and bland, and it does the same thing with Elmer's Glue. You pull it off your hands, it looks like you're pulling the skin off your hands. Why I did that, I don't know. But they did queso instead of the spinach artichoke dip at Chili's. And I said, I think I deserve to eat at better places. I deserve to love and respect myself.
It's okay to be trashy every now and then with your food.
I understand, but Chili's was a guilty pleasure to go because I would get the Shinerbach ribs, a big thing of spinach artichoke dip, and then you had the free salsa and the chips and all that stuff. And the free salsa and chips and the Southwestern egg rolls are not enough to keep me going back to that place anymore.
Mm-mm.
It's just not enough.
I haven't been to a Chili's in forever.
Why would you? Even a Chili's too in an airport, I would enjoy. But not so much anymore. All right, keep going with this.
This guy. Better. That one is better.
All right, that was gross.
I don't like the mouth sounds. Yeah, I was just about to say.
Oh, hold on. Ugh. I hate watching people eat, and I hate listening to people eat.
Listening to people eat's worse. Like I don't mind watching people eat every now and then. And at least some of these reviewers are starting to be like, well, they'll take a bite and they'll cover their mouth. I think that's a little excessive, but whatever. But at least you're not.
Remember when there was a whole period where there was just fat guys in cars going through drive-through places to eat, and one guy, maybe it was that Keith guy. I don't remember, but one guy used to eat, like take such a big bite, and then he would with his mouth full, he would go, look at all the juices dripping down my chin, and you're like, you're a fucking slob. That's disgusting.
White guy or black guy? Because if it's the guy I'm thinking of, he's a black guy. His name was Dame or something like that.
It might have been.
He did that stuff.
Then it might have been him. I can't honestly say if it was a white dude, black dude. I don't remember. I just remember it was a fat guy in a car doing drive-through stuff, and then there turned out to be so many people that were doing all of that stuff. Pivotal Pete saying Jose Tejas fresh chips. I don't have any of those near me, but I will take your word for it. Chili's, when they do it right, has great burgers. I can't remember the last time I ever had a burger at Chili's, but I think you're right. I think they might do good burgers. And Arby's has great mozzarella sticks. I've never gotten mozzarella sticks at an Arby's. All the Arby's that were near me all closed down, so unfortunately I don't have that luxury anymore. But I would just go. I would get it. Their beef and cheddar on an onion roll.
Oh yeah,
and you would just do a pump of horsey sauce.
I know, it's horsey sauce.
You do a pump of the horsey sauce, a pump of the barbecue sauce, and some pickles.
That's so good.
Oh, so it was good, delicious bad food for you. Oh, yeah. Okay, continuing.
That one is better. Honestly, this one tastes a lot better. Like it's actually kind of fresh, but overall, it's still kind of small for.
Kind of fresh. Look, it's all fresh. They just made it for you.
Freaky fast.
They got a bag of pickle chips for $2.
$2.
Your guarantee.
Half full, seasoned well.
He likes leaning on the SpongeBob, doesn't he?
Yeah, because that's his mentality.
Those are really good.
He has that haircut that you would make fun of kids in school for, like having the bowl cut, or it's like their hair is parted over.
Pumpkin pie haircutted freak.
They don't know anything. They had no older sister to show them about like hair gel and hairspray or pomade or any of those things to show. It's like let's just fluff your hair up a little bit. Maybe spike it. We'll shave the sides of it so you look cooler. His mom dresses him probably still, and he's based on his mustache. He could be 14. He could be 25. I don't know. But either way,
those are really good. That's a very strong taste. Nice crunch. Overall, I give it like a.
I hate that too when food reviewers are going, look at the texture, and they always got to break the food open and show it to you, like they're fucking Gordon Ramsay, some kind of skilled chef. Where even Guy Fieri, when you're watching him do diners, drive-throughs, and dives, when he would sit there and he would the other person would make the food, he would take it and he would open up and show you.
Here's the thing: when he does it, though, he's got experience. Like,
right, that's what I'm talking about. A chef,
he could
somebody
pick out
at that
sauces and spices. Like,
somebody at that level should be doing that.
Right.
You're right.
Break it down. This guy just needs to eat his pickle sandwich.
I got to put that drop in there too. A little DX for you. That would be fantastic.
6 out of 10. I like it because it's nice and innovative. I like unique things.
Innovate? That's not innovative.
No,
that was some idiot made a goof video on TikTok and then it became a thing. It wasn't even Jimmy John's idea to do this. They just saw a trend and go, hey, we'll just do that. So he's like, I like unique things. This guy has I bet you this guy has never been outside of his hometown. Like he's got a hometown that it's one of those Midwest towns that has, like on both sides of the highway, has every chain known to man.
Right, but just in the one exit.
Yeah, and he just drives around and goes, I'm worldly. Today I'm going to Raising Cane's. Well, first of all, Raising Cane's blows. And then second of all, that's not being worldly. Those are chicken tenders.
Right.
8.5 on the chips.
And that scale, the whole scale too of the rating systems means nothing. The only one I give a pass is Dave Portnoy because he made a whole career out of doing that with his pizza thing. But when you do the point whatever, it means nothing.
I know. Actually, you know what the funny thing is? That I don't even like when Portnoy does it because it's like it's a 7.735. I'm like, why? Why is it so finite? Like, just say it's an 8.
Because it's his thing. He can do what he wants.
I understand, and then it's fine. But it just still, it always bothers me because you're right. Just stop with the little point this and half of this. It's either good or not.
Again, a pickle is not a sandwich. It's part of a sandwich. Stop doing this nonsense. In fact, I would just go there. I'm like, can I have the oversized pickle and don't put the sandwich on it? I would sit there and eat a giant fucking kosher pickle like that. Yeah. Can you have it, or can you slice it into 4s? I would just sit there. I'd order a couple. I'd be sitting there with my tray and a beverage, alone with my earbuds on, just eating pickle spears.
Well, they sell pickles on the side. You can buy pickles, and they're pretty good size, but they're not that big.
They're not that pickle. I want the good pickles. I want the ones that you're going into the barrel and reaching down and grabbing the giant pickles. Those are the ones that I want to enjoy. I'm sure that'll be isolated as well. Since we're talking about pickles, I want to show you this. This was another trend that became popular for like a minute on social media stuff, and then people insisted that this was a good thing, and I do not. I know back in the day you like that dirty Dr. Pepper where they mix the coffee
the coconut and
the coconut and lime,
coconut and cream lime. Yeah, I liked it. It wasn't bad.
Well, this is another thing where people are trying to ruin things that are perfect as they are. They're breaking things that don't need to be fixed. Dr. Pepper is getting the pickle treatment. Take a look.
I took the 23 flavors and added one more. My boy Chicken Charlie out here putting pickles and Dr. Pepper like the real genius that he is. There it is.
It's pickly. It's perfect. Now I want to taste this big pickle. That's a different pickle.
It is good, regardless of what pickle it is.
Yeah.
No!
It's like when people do there's a science behind drinking pickle juice, especially like if you're doing working out and things like that and all that. But I don't need pickle popsicles. I've seen those come out. I don't need pickle juice inside my other stuff, especially in my soda. I don't feel like it would be refreshing.
There's no need for that. None need for any of that. You're ruining Dr. Pepper. It's like when they came out. When they came out, it's like, oh, cherry Dr. Pepper. It's like, well, you don't need it because cherry's one of the main ingredients of Dr. Pepper. But people like to have the extra maraschino juice in it, and to each their own. I just think Dr. Pepper's perfect as it is and doesn't need all the variations. I will say, though, the Dr. Pepper coconut over the summer was fantastic.
One of my favorites. I hope they bring that back.
It's great if you mix it with a little bit of Malibu, and it becomes like your own tropical holiday drink if you want to do that. I have one other thing to show you.
Okay.
Since we talked about social media stuff, and then we'll take a break so I can try to fix my damn camera again. Let me see if it works. Nope, still not there. You know what? Let me try this. Let me leave the studio. I'll come right back, see if that does it.
It's going to blow out your video. Well, I guess you don't need the videos. He'll be back. This is an ongoing issue. We don't even know what's going on with his camera. He's done this like right before we started the show. When we're prepping, his camera goes out. I think earlier we were able to get there. You go.
There we go.
So you just need to leave every now and then. So maybe I need to start loading the videos because I don't seem to drop out. So that way we have them
right
and don't have to redo the work. Thankfully, it's already at the end of segment 1 here. But
I'm looking at the chat here.
We'll have to change a few things here.
I had to open up the chat again. All the Twitch comments disappeared.
Yeah, I've seen that happen if you close out and come back in.
That's weird.
I've got them all up, but yeah.
All the YouTube stuff's here. Oh, I didn't even see this. David Collins was in there. Our pal David Collins, host of the 30-minute half-hour podcast. It's a good show.
Best,
actually, go seek it out. Yeah, if you go check it out, tell him Eric Nagel sent you. He's a good dude. All right. So this final social media thing, I got to reload this again, don't I? I do. Okay. I have 2 videos to show you. Damn it. We always happen. It's like, all right, we got to rush to a break, but I got a couple more things to show you. All right, we'll do this fast. So there is a it says a presidential debate, but I don't know where.
I know they're holding dueling events in Michigan. I think.
Oh, okay. It was an independent candidate debate on Wednesday, which was broadcast live on C-SPAN.
Okay.
So they have somebody to come on and sing the national anthem before this. And it's an artist named Loomis, who I'm not
familiar with her at all.
Right. So she's been compared to Fergie from the Black Eyed Peas.
Not a good start.
And Fergie, I guess, had a bad version of her national anthem during the 2018 NBA All-Star game. She wanted to try something special for the NBA, but it didn't strike the intended tone, and people thought it was incredibly terrible. Well, they have this Loomis girl come on to do the national anthem, and it's live on television, and she fucks it up and even addresses that she fucks it up. Check it out.
Gallantly streaming, and the rockets, red glare. I fucked it up.
Oh my God.
Can I go back, please?
Oh man!
Oh, you missed the other part.
I can hear it.
I got too nervous.
Why is she stopping like that?
Because she's an idiot.
Still there. Oh, say does that star spangled for the love.
The candidates are like, oh, fuck.
Yeah,
they're hurting.
And the home of the brave.
it was so terrible.
That may be one of the worst. Like there was one, I think it was last season or maybe even earlier this year during the All-Star game where they had that one girl do the national anthem and she botched it so bad that she had to apologize. And she came out the next day saying, I need to check myself into a facility because she was apparently very drunk when she did it.
Oh,
And
yes. That
it was like the All-Star game or something.
Yeah. I forgot
it was like
what her
earlier
name
this
is.
year. I love when they botch this. Like this one song is the hardest thing for anybody to attempt. Like you've got Roseanne intentionally doing it bad, but then like there's no reason this should have been this bad.
No. And this
she
is
just
where
looked like she was some like ghetto chick that they picked up off the street.
And this is where the WWE knew what they were doing, because since the very first WrestleMania, they never did the national anthem. They did America the Beautiful, which is a song a lot of people thought should be the national anthem instead of what we currently have.
Right.
But they had Aretha Franklin, Ray Charles, like over the years, they had everybody come out there and would sing America the Beautiful. And it kills every time. And then as they were starting to do stadium WrestleMania events, they would have like the Blue Angels fly over at the very end. Like they made a whole spectacle out of it. And now you don't get the fantastic fuck up clips.
No.
Like this, but I fucked it up. Can I do it again? We're live on television.
we're actually live.
So she false starts again. She's like, I was so nervous. It's like, shut up. You are now. It's like when somebody throws a first pitch terribly. You're just in that lexicon now of bad events that everybody's done. And now it's like everyone, you're trying to see who's going to top the next one. And this lady topped the next one there. So way to go, Loomis. Check out her music. I'm sure it's fantastic. Finally, the social media ad I want to show you before we go to break. I've been seeing a lot of these ads show up lately where they it's usually in between, like if you're looking through Instagram stories, and sometimes they place ads between the stories, like before you go to the next person. A lot of it has been these people that are trying to sell you schools of thought, packages, if you will, of how to do social media and how to generate millions of views or get like 100,000 subscribers, all of these things. And they all have a different approach to it. Some say like, if you're still putting link in your link in bio in your Instagram post, stuff like that, people are not reading it. They're breaking down fake statistics showing that as soon as people see that, they're on to the next thing. So here's the way you could do it. And it's like, they're trying to sell you, like, if you know what I'm talking about, link in bio, right? You can't post a link on Instagram posts, but you can have your link in your bio so they can just go to your bio and click to go to your website, to your OnlyFans, to your YouTube, whatever it is that you're doing. They say, well, if you have somebody just comment this word in the say this word in the comments, it will automatically DM the information of what you're talking about to them. Now, I'm thinking like, that's more inappropriate. That's more of an invasion of it's like, just write Christmas at the bottom and we'll send you the link to all our stuff. And so you type in Christmas and then you get a DM from this company, but now you're essentially on their mailing list because you contributed to it. If you read the guidelines through it all, it authorizes them to now solicit you and your information and do all of this stuff. There was a disclaimer I saw on one where if you scroll down far enough, I guess they got in a lot of trouble with Facebook, that they had to disclose that even though that this thing is part of, because Facebook owns Instagram, they're all under the same Meta company, that they have to disclose this whole thing there so that they don't get in trouble and they can still peddle their wares. So I'm not saying their shit's illegal, but I'm saying it may not be on the up and up because it seems like they're just trying to sell snake oil to you in order to do that. I'm pulling up the I had to transfer it over. I'm pulling the disclosure here so I can show you what exactly it says. Okay.
Have you ever bought anything off these kind of things before, or like TikTok? Because I've purchased a few things off TikTok. I'm one of those people, and they have been fantastic.
I have not. I never trust any of that stuff. I didn't think to buy anything because I'm not on TikTok enough to fully understand all of it. I'm more Instagram related.
Well, Eric, next month apparently we were supposed to get rid of all that.
Oh, is that happening?
I don't think so. I haven't heard one thing since they did that.
Okay,
like not one story has come out saying TikTok's leaving.
Because I said early in the election year, I said. All of a sudden, President Biden is on TikTok for supporters. I go, your administration is leading the charge to get rid of them out of here. And now you're opening up a TikTok account when you're saying that there's the Chinese companies taking your personal information. The president, the White House administration opened up official TikTok accounts.
Yep. I know.
That's where the young people are. Right. But you realize you're trying to expel them from this country. Pick a lane what you're doing. One of those advertisements had this disclaimer here. It says, this is not part of the Facebook website, Facebook Incorporated or Meta Incorporated. Additionally, this site is not endorsed by Facebook or Meta in any way. Facebook is a trademark of Facebook Incorporated. Disclaimer, the sales figures stated on this landing page and discussed in this course are our personal sales figures or the sales figures of previous or existing clients. Please understand that the results are not typical. We are not implying you'll duplicate them, but that's the whole point of selling the ad to you.
That's what you're trying to do.
We're not implying that you'll duplicate them or do anything for that matter. The average person who buys how-to information gets little to no results. We're using these references for example purposes. Your results will vary depending on many factors, including but not limited to your background, experience, and work ethic. All business entails risks
as well as massive.
Probably risk. So that's good. Their legal disclaimer has a typo in it, right? Let's just assume risk, okay? All business entails risk as well as massive and consistent efforts and action. If you're not willing to accept that, please do not purchase any of our product. Now, the whole ad pitch for these things is to get you to buy their product and that they can guarantee you results. Not a guarantee. Like The Simpsons did. Remember when they would have those ads there? Guaranteed to help your love life. Not a guarantee.
Not a guarantee.
Yeah. So you know what? I should pull that drop too. Not a guarantee. Damn it. We're finding so much good stuff here.
I know.
Your thoughts on this?
It's just it's funny. It's almost like listening to those like Ozempic, like, oh look, this is what this is going to help you with, and then they give you the laundry list of side effects that are literally going to kill you.
May liquefy your kidneys.
Right, you may die.
Yeah.
I don't understand why they allow the advertising if they're just going to say none of it works. I mean, I understand they want the money and revenue from it, but I don't know. It seems so stupid.
Well, I want to show you this ad
stuff anyway. Yeah, what's the ad?
I want to show you this ad here. So a lot of them, there's this one ad. This isn't it, but there's this other ad that has a whole series of different ads for this campaign, and it's like this strawberry blonde girl, and she's always talking to you like she's very matter of factly. She's walking around our living room. She's walking around. It's really disturbing because sometimes it starts off and she's sitting with her legs crossed and her bare feet are right there. I'm like, put some fucking shoes on. I mean, I know what you're doing because there's people out there that are foot fetish people. But it's just like, she sits there and he goes, are you having problems? I'm like, I'm having problems that you opened up with a wide shot of your feet. Like, stop with this. This is not trying to get me to buy your product.
Anyway, out.
So everybody has different techniques of what you can do and how you can do videos, how you can do your things. They're selling apps now that just show you what's trending. So if you're running out of ideas and you're trying to figure out what to do next, here's a list. This app will tell you what's trending right now. So you can go and look into those trends, see what people are doing so that you can do them and you can start making $30,000 a month. And it's like, so, okay, nobody's developing any content. You're just seeing what everyone else is doing the same thing, hoping to cash in, and you're not creating any content. Nothing creative at all. Let's look at this ad here.
Using ChatGPT for social media, then you need to use real trends instead.
That's the thing. They always start off to where they go, if you're still using this way of doing stuff, then you're not doing it right. You need to check out our version of doing it, which is, I'm assuming
I have seen some of these kinds of things before.
I'm just assuming this is a shitty version of ChatGPT.
Probably.
ChatGPT, it's not really that great either, but it's the big name for that, specific technology.
It's gotten a lot better. It really has.
Okay, I'm sure, but it's the one that everybody knows.
Right.
If you know anything about it, you think ChatGPT. You don't think these little offshoot things. All right, continuing.
The laziest way to get 50,000 followers by the end of 2024.
That's what they're selling. We're going to show you the laziest way to get all these followers before the year's over.
See, that statement right there is basically almost like feeling like they're trying to guarantee you're going to do this if you get this. They're not wording it in a way where it says, if you try this and this, you could possibly get 50,000 followers by the end of 2024. No, this is, you get this is going to be your easiest way to get these things. It's short of promising it.
And not even that, but just it's like, hey, here's the lazy. It's always like, here's the quick, lazy way to easy money.
You don't have to work for it.
It's cutting corners. It's like, here, you have to do nothing and we can make you, 1,000 there at this point.
This app, Real Trends, takes all the guesswork out of what works. It shows you the top trending sounds, keywords, and even gives you AI-generated scripts tailored to your content.
See? So, you go back here. Here's everything that's trending currently. And you can see that they have strength levels to tell you which is responding better and what isn't. So, all right, so I need to make some videos. Let me go and look. All right, these are trending topics. I'll just make videos about these topics then. Okay, so then you're doing that, and you go through here, and then it's like, if you don't know what to say for this stuff, well, don't worry. Our AI system will generate the copy that you use for these things.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you doing? They're doing all the work for you, and you're spending how much money?
Tailored to your content. I've cracked the...
Tailored to your content. What content? You're not building anything. It's like, hey, buy our thing. We'll tell you exactly what to do, and hopefully it works out for you.
Algorithm, and it wasn't luck, it was strategy.
Really? It was strategy, but they're implying that this is going to be luck. So it's really luck, but
strategy.
Yeah.
Strategy. Real Trends is the tool that made it happen. It has a hashtag generator, keyword generator, gives you viral hooks plus content ideas, and so much more. If you're looking for a straightforward way to grow your Instagram, this app is your secret weapon.
Now, I'm not going to say this
app legality. We're not endorsing this. This is
we
playing an ad that's paid to be on here. We're just dissecting a trend that's going on that's disturbing. Go ahead.
Here's the thing, though. Like, I get why they're doing this. The biggest issue when I was doing the other show, and even some of the content that we have put out, we have to try to cater it to what it's going to get out, and that we got to cast that wide net. So figuring out what the trending hashtags are, or what people are looking at that we can kind of backdoor our content into, it's a pain in the ass. It really is. So when she's like, oh, look, there's the hashtag thing, I was like, okay, that is a good idea. This might be a good idea, but just wrapping it in this and then saying, oh, you're going to get like 50,000 followers by this. It's not that easy. You still have to work, and you can't sit there and rely on an app to do all your work for you. Like through what we use here to do this show can generate small clips for us. But why would we do that? Because what it does is it doesn't know the content. It doesn't know the stopping points. It doesn't know the algorithm, whatever is built into it, just says, this is a keyword that I think we should start at. This is a keyword that should end. And then it cuts off halfway through.
Right.
Like, you need someone who can curate that a lot better than any of this stuff can.
Yeah, you need a living
the easy way out
that can compensate,
curate.
No, not curate, but they can look at this stuff and make sense of it.
Mm-hmm.
That they're sitting there and go, all right, well, if he says this could be taken out of context, which could work. If we say this here, this makes sense to put that video out there. A big problem with doing this digital age of doing streaming and programming and what have you. A lot of times now, what you used to be told for television and radio, it's like broadcasting. Okay, broad was the key word in it, that you were trying to do stuff that would appeal to as many people as possible to get as many eyes and ears on your product or your show, whatever it was. The reverse is for podcasting and streaming. They're talking narrow casting. So that's like, you got to narrow your things down. If you're still doing stuff like we kind of still do it, but we talk about a bunch of different subjects, and not everything relates to everybody, so that people, you don't get as many viewers on stuff. But if you isolate it and put it out there, it finds those people, right?
Right.
So they want you to narrow your stuff down, but then cut it in a way that you could cast the wide net, like you said, and try to grab as much. So you want to narrow your topic down to then broadcast it to try to get as many people to look at your narrow point of view, your narrow topicality. And you're like, okay, this isn't going to work. We had an experiment. We put out a thing about Taylor Swift when there was all this stuff with Taylor Swift. She just started dating Travis Kelce, and was putting out her new albums, her Taylor's version stuff. We tried to backdoor into a lot of the Taylor frenzy online, where we reviewed a new song of hers. And the new song is not hers, but it sounds like hers. It's Nikki Glazer. It's a comedian
I remember
that loves Taylor Swift and did a Taylor Swift style song, but with a much harsher topic than what Taylor would ever sing.
Right.
So we did the review and we put it out there. It got squashed with the reach. For some reason, TikTok just did not want to put that out anywhere.
Wouldn't go anywhere.
Couldn't figure out why while we're dissecting it. And the few that did see it didn't understand. That's not Taylor. And our whole thing was we played it off that it is Taylor. That was the gag. And we were not letting it go that it was the wrong song. I was expecting to get that backlash. I wasn't even getting that because people were confused and didn't do anything with it. So I'm like, when we're purposely trying to fuck with them, it did nothing. If we came straight out and told them that it isn't doing anything, it's really the luck of the draw on a lot.
And
of
it's weird
stuff.
because that's not the first time we did that gag, because we did that earlier in the year with the Beatles, and that
one still gets traction, and that one's on YouTube though. That one's on YouTube.
But see, we still put stuff out on TikTok, women. We still cut some stuff up. I put it on mine, you put it on yours, and we got a good amount of run on that. You had people reach out. There was traction. Taylor Swift stuff just died on the vine. Like, didn't even get past, I would think, 20 views. And I can put out a stupid video of a concert that I go to and get 700 people liking my video within 15 to 20 minutes. Something was going on with that particular video, that particular content, no matter how many hashtags we added to it, no matter accounts we tagged.
I also think a lot of the people that are on these apps have had their heads so conditioned to a way that they think certain content is enjoyable. And it's not, because you see some of the videos that are popular every day and you look and you go, all right, babies, kids, people getting hurt. I get all of that stuff.
Love that.
But then when you're seeing these little trends and stuff and you go, this is terrible. Why is anybody watching this? And you start seeing, oh, it's got 1 million views already. I'm like, people just they're okay with mediocre content. And I think that's kind of where the radio industry is at too, where they're like, it doesn't matter. We don't need to have these high priced shows that did a lot of production, a lot of research and involvement with what they do. We can just put anybody on there talking about whatever's trending during the day and people will listen to it. And that's all we care about.
Yep.
So it's unfortunate that there's that faction of the world that views that stuff as entertainment. And you go, you deserve so much better out of this. Why are you putting yourself through all this garbage? You should watch better stuff, but they don't. That's all they care about. They all got to do the stupid dances. If I got to see another mother-daughter dance video or a group of girls together doing stuff, it's just like, and then because, the way things are right now, the biggest videos you see are people, oh, I hate this thing too. Stitch incoming. You're watching a video, it just shows up on your random thing and it says Stitch incoming, and you're watching one video, all of a sudden it cuts to a different person who's now commenting on the video instead of having it like side by side where you watch the one thing and the other person's reacting on the other side. Now it says Stitch incoming. We have a friend of ours that does this.
I was just going to say it. I wasn't going to mention him by name, but
I'm not mentioning him either. But I'm looking at his stuff and I go, why are you doing this? What are you getting out of this? But that's a new trend that's going on right now with the Stitch incoming.
Cuts off the point of the video. So like now I don't know what you're speaking to because you've cut off the original video.
Right. And now
you got to the hook and then you took it away from
and
him.
not just him, but anybody else who does that. It's like, now I don't care what the original video was, nor do I care what your commentary is on it. I'm moving on. You see a lot of that. A lot of it is political commentary about things that are going on, right or wrong. They're screaming and yelling and all of that stuff. Or it's because the internet, sexy looking girls who were doing stuff where they're holding underwear up and they're like smacking it against their chest. And all of a sudden now they're wearing it like through trick editing and stuff. And it all links to their OnlyFans accounts or the other one, the Friendlies. No, not Friendlies.
Friendster.
Fansies. Fansly. So yeah, so it links to those things. So it's like you're either getting, or sometimes they slip in. You're like, why am I seeing tits? Oh, it's a fake breastfeeding video where there's young women who are promoting their OnlyFans under the guise of it's a breastfeeding video, and you could see that it's a fucking doll. It's not a real child that they're doing with it. Yeah, it's all. I can't. Every time I try to figure it out, I can't figure it out.
My favorite thing is your first reaction is, why am I seeing tits? I'm like,
I'm not.
Ew.
Some of them are terrible, but some of them are not. But I'm on a platform where I wasn't expecting it, and then like,
gross.
Oh, it's another fake breastfeeding video, or it's people on that slingshot ride where their shirts fly open because of gravity in the wind, or something along those lines.
I used to see a lot of those pop through, or when you would send me those pictures of that one girl who would just be dancing in the middle of the Home Depot. And you like some old man just trying to push his cart full of power tools around her stupid ass. I'm just like,
so dumb.
People, man.
Ooh, super chat coming in. Nick with $5. Thank you very much, sir. That goes to the Jordan Fund. Do appreciate that.
It's like the People Fund where, I'm just going to get a card and Eric had donated all my money to somebody else.
To the People Fund. It's like buying a star in your name.
Right. Thanks.
All right.
Paypax 351.
Let's take a break. We got a bunch of stuff for segment 2, and then you get to enjoy your Halloween holiday weekend. We will be right back.
More. It's Eric Nagel.
It's Eric Nagel.
Next.
Jordan, you like coffee.
I do like coffee.
Who doesn't like coffee?
I don't know.
Unfortunately, I think they may enjoy coffee, but the point being that all different people, shapes, makes, kinds, whatever, all enjoy coffee. And if you're still out there drinking that sad, watery coffee that tastes like it was brewed through an old sock and barely gets you out of bed, then it's time for you to upgrade to the 22 Sierra Coffee Company. It's veteran-owned, family-run, and genuinely committed. I'm reading the copy here. Okay. Genuinely committed. Okay. Fair enough. 22 Sierra Coffee doesn't just make amazing coffee. They make a difference too by supporting veteran health and wellness events across the United States, and even putting boots on the ground to assist with rescue and recovery after Hurricane Helene and Milton. These guys are committed to making a difference wherever they can. And let's be clear, this isn't the close your eyes and chug it down kind of coffee. It's rich, it's bold, it's deliciously smooth. There are many carefully crafted blends to choose from, like their dark roast aptly named Death from Above. That's always fun. This blend was created in honor of the brave men and women of the airborne community, making it the perfect gift and gift for any veteran, active duty service member, or coffee lover who appreciates the sacrifice and bravery for those who have served us. Every bag of beans you buy supports nonprofits that help veterans in the community. We got to whittle this down a little bit to help the veterans in the community gain access to the help that they need. So every sip is a small salute to the ones who served. So if you want coffee that delivers and gives back, grab a bag of 22 Sierra Coffee. Listeners of this show, the It's Eric Nagel Show, can get 15% off their order by using the promo code ERIC, E-R-I-K, the correct way of spelling it, at checkout. That's 22sierracoffee.com. Use promo code ERIC for 15% off.
It's Eric Nagel. Follow the show on all social medias at It's Eric Nagel for ways to watch or listen to the show, both live and on demand. Go to itsericnagel.com.
Hey, it's Henry Zabrowski. You're listening to It's Eric Nagel.
Segment 2 of the show, Eric and Jordan talking about television, movies, streaming updates, all the things you need to know about what's going on in the world of entertainment. But as always, we always start off with things that we are watching and hopefully can pass some good suggestions on to you. Jordan, you're not watching anything.
I mean, I caught up with the Penguins, but you haven't been caught up, so I don't want to get the Penguins. It was just March of the I watched March of the Penguins.
March of the Penguins.
No. I watched March of the Pangolins. So it's like those weird looking things. No, I caught up with Penguin. I just been kind of not really catching up on a lot. I've been playing Black Ops 6. The new Call of Duty has come out, and yeah, so we'll talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, I've been playing that. I haven't really been doing much. I mean, I'm just hanging out. So,
well, you got
caught up by next show. Trust me.
You got new episodes of Agatha.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch those today. Both of them. This is it. 2 more episodes. We're done.
Both episodes are out. Fantastic.
Both episodes are done. So
I got to watch that. Conclude that. I got to finish up the Pangolin on HBO Max, and then I saw Venom: The Last Dance.
Ooh, you're the guy.
Did you go see it?
No, I have not. I heard it tanked in the U.S. but did well overseas, so it's gonna make some money.
I didn't hate it.
Really?
I didn't hate it.
You're the second person that has told me they enjoyed it, and everybody else is just killing it.
Yeah, I didn't hate it. It wasn't that terrible. Look, I'm with everybody else. It should have been based off of Spider-Man, but I don't want to spoil too much. But it alludes to that at some point. I thought it was okay. It was kind of humorous. They had they went into the backstory about the Black King, the King of Night.
Oh, you're talking about Null the Conqueror?
Yeah, him. Yeah. So there was stuff about him. Apparently, like the symbiotes all came from him. Like he's the guy who created the symbiotes, and he's technically a celestial, but he's a bit higher than above some of the celestials.
He's a pretty good big bad. Like if they did it right, he could be something formidable, like kind of not like Thanos level, but pretty good.
But he was killing a lot of some of the celestials. Like he was a big problem. He was trying to destroy everything in the universe. Yeah. What I also didn't know is that there's a quick mention. I forgot that Santa is an Omega level character in the Marvel universe.
Oh my God. Yeah. That
Santa is like one of the most powerful beings out of everything. So there was a little mention of that. But yeah, you're going to see some more stuff focusing on him. Looks like they're finally going to tie it to Spider-Man at some point. And seeing the other symbiotes show up and take over bodies and see what they are and what they can do, what their abilities are, thought it was kind of interesting. It was very fast and quick. It wasn't enough time to pay due diligence to those characters and their origins, but you got to see some stuff real fast. You're like, oh, that was kind of cool.
Well, this is my problem, is that the first movie, the main bad guys were a symbiote type character. In the second movie, it kind of felt like the same. And then in this movie, it's the same thing. You don't have something that's going to go up against Venom. You just keep throwing digital weird symbiote stuff. Like, give me something else. Like, it just feels like it's very one note all the way through the 3 movies. And that's why it just never grabbed my attention. There was nothing different about any other movie. You know, the second movie was Carnage, but they ruined that. And he's a symbiote.
And I will say this, there's a part that they put in the trailers that are supposed to be the fun part where he becomes a horse and other animals. That goes on, and it's cute, but it's like little kids will like that. The rest of it's like I didn't care about any of that. It was just.
Did they make this one rated R? I think this one's still PG-13, right?
I think they're all PG-13.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Although, wait a minute, no, because there's some scenes where there's blood, like there's heads being ripped off, and there's blood.
Yeah, but is it human blood or is it the creature blood? Because you can get away with the creature blood. So, like, if you're biting like another symbiote character, you kind of get away with that.
Human blood.
Interesting.
It's rated PG-13, but there was some something early on in the movie that involved the Mexican cartel.
Oh yeah, because he was in Mexico at the end of the last movie.
Well, that's where the movie starts. The movie starts with him in the cutscene from the MCU. I'm trying to think Where was the cutscene from?
It was.
Was it Ant-Man?
Oh God, what was it? No, it wasn't Ant-Man. I think it was another Spider-Man movie.
All right. Well, it's the cutscene where he's in the bar.
Right.
Right. And then he gets sucked in through the vortex and a little piece of him is left there in that universe. Then it goes back to the Sony universe and these things are going on there, but they're still mentioning Spider-Man. They're still mentioning that there's pieces of him in the MCU and like they're really marrying it together. And I think that story will originate. I think one of the leaks that were coming out about Spider-Man 4 is that it involves Venom. Because this is now Peter.
They're running out of characters to fight him.
Now Peter outside of the MCU. He's not involved with the Avengers anymore. He's back to being your local friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Like he's got a shitty outfit. He's doesn't have any of his friends with him anymore. Like you saw how it all ended. Everything changed. So I think this is him starting over again, and then Venom comes to full fruition through Spider-Man's movie. That's just
because they've used all the other character bad guys that they could fight him with. Like, they're doing Craven. They're coming out with Craven. In that movie, you're going to have characters like Rhino and a couple others. Chameleon, I think, is supposed to be in it. So they're wasting all these bad guys.
And when they try to do Sinister Six,
they're doing it. I saw a story. I didn't.
Nobody cares because it's not tied into the original stuff. You're not going to get the casual people checking this out to really be invested in it, and the ones who would help push the casual people to get invested into it, the people who were fans of these stories, the comic books, all of that other stuff, don't give a fuck.
No,
about this. So if you don't have the fan base that comes with it pushing for this, the casuals aren't going to pick up the slack for this stuff. So what can you do with that? Come on. Another super chat in from Nick S. $5. Thank you very much, sir or madam, or whatever the case may be, going towards the Jordan People Fund.
The People Fund.
So yeah, that's what I watched. I don't think I really watched anything else. I've been catching up on Dabbleverse stuff. There's been a lot going on, so I've been watching that. All right, what's out now for your viewing entertainment in theaters? Juror number 2, a Clint Eastwood joint.
Yeah, it's his last one, and no one is talking.
Is he in it, or is he directing it?
I know he's directed it. I'm sure he's going to be in it at some point, but yeah, it kind of got buried for being Clint Eastwood's last directorial movie. No one's talking about this, and it seems very odd that they're just kind of burying it. I don't know. I haven't heard much about it. That's the problem.
Could be that he's a bit of a staunch in some of his political views, and they were like, "Yeah, we're not pushing that right now during this time when we're in the last mile of the election process." Also, another Tom Hanks movie here. What is that
it's
one about?
Robert Zemeckis movie, and it looks weird because it looks like it's almost
really?
like
Robert Zemeckis movie.
Yeah, they put like a camera in a corner of a room, and now they're telling a story of a couple dating, growing up, having family, having kids, but all from this one angle. It's weird looking, and it just tells the story of their life. But from this one angle in the living room of this house.
Again, not enough for me to go to the theater, but I will check it out. And I do like a lot of Tom Hanks movies, but
I love Autumn Shank.
Tom from another Tom from Alberta said, I haven't heard about it at all. Yeah, I haven't either, these two movies. So available on video on demand. Matt Walsh's Am I Racist?
Yep. I haven't seen it, but I was going to watch
his
it.
Borat take on going around trying to understand the extreme left mindset. I've heard good things depending on your views, but overall I've heard from some film people too that said it's actually pretty good. So I'm going to check that out. Joker 2 is coming out already
tomorrow.
Wow.
As of tomorrow, it'll be on video on demand. Less than 3 weeks.
But the audience doesn't get it. It was a success. You just don't understand fine art like that.
You just don't know cinema.
Wait, it's streaming already? But we were just saying go to the theater. Yeah, it's streaming right now. We lost all our money.
Yeah, it made all the dollar.
Piece by Piece is what?
It's that Pharrell Lego documentary about his life.
Pharrell? Check it up. Yeah. And then The Substance, which is the
gross out movie that you would not need to be watching.
Told me not to watch. I've heard that Netflix didn't want this, but then I guess they took it. Harold and the Purple Crayon?
They were trying to sell Netflix to put it out. So before Sony released it into theaters and then went away in a day, they were trying to shop it around to have Netflix either buy it from them and just stream it immediately or whatever. But because they didn't want it. They're like, we don't want anything about it. Sony ended up putting out the movie, but because Sony has a deal with Netflix to release their new movies when they go to streaming, Netflix still gets it anyway. So Netflix was smart, didn't sink the money into it, and then now it's going to be streaming. I
will give it a watch. That's with Zach Levi, right?
Yeah, he's in a lot of hot water right now too with his political views. So I mean, everybody needs to just shut up and do your job.
He's fine. Everyone's fine. He's a good actor. I enjoy his stuff. I will check out Harold and the Purple Crayon. I don't know if that story is going to be good, but I remember growing up with that book.
I love the book. I used to read it to my kids. The trailer looked bad.
In the chat, Perfect Awkward is saying, have you seen Joker 2? Yes, I have. It is garbage.
It's so bad.
It is so bad.
The ending is terrible.
What else is coming out? Netflix, we said Harold and the Purple Crayon. Peacock, which is the NBC platform. Teacup. It's a horror show.
Yeah, it's like a James Wan horror show. I've seen clips. I haven't watched it yet. That's going to be something I'll probably catch soon. It looks weird. It like I saw a clip where these two guys were trying to go get some help for something, and there's this guy in like a gas mask. Think about that episode in Doctor Who where they first meet Jack Harkness, where you got those kids in the gas masks.
Are you my mummy?
Are you my mummy?
Fantastic.
So it's my favorite. And so he's wearing something like that, and then he like spray paints a line on the ground, and basically does the finger wag and says, "You can't cross this."
Right.
And then something happens, a dog crosses it, something crazy happens, and they're like, okay, I guess we can't cross it. So it's like this weird horror mystery show on Peacock. So I'm going to check it out. I'll have probably a good review about it by next show. It looks good.
Please do. I'm debating if I'm going to watch Terrifier. I keep seeing so many clips all over the place. I'm like, maybe I should check it out.
It's not. You haven't watched the other ones though, have you?
No, I mean, I'd go back to the first one and watch. I haven't even seen any of the Saw movies.
The first one's very tame. Watch the first Saw movie. It's not as gross as the other one started to get. Terrifier is disgusting. You wouldn't watch that. There's no way. And the substance is even worse than that. So yeah, stay away from it.
It's all just gory stuff.
There is a scene in the first Terrifier movie where they have a woman hanging upside down, legs upside down by her legs, spread open, and he takes a chainsaw and goes all the way down. No. So if you can't handle me describing that scene,
all right, forget it.
Don't watch the movies.
Forget it. Never mind.
However, me and Giddles, thumbs up on all three. We loved them.
Bunch of savages.
They're disgusting.
Over on Max, Shrinking season 2. I don't remember if I watched that.
It's the one Harrison Ford's in it. It's a good show.
All right. So next week, not a lot next week other than Comedy Central spent a ton of money getting Jon Stewart back for a part-time deal, which was brilliant on his part. But November 5th, they're going to be broadcasting live election coverage. The Daily Show with Jon Stewart, November 5th. So if you like his take on things, it'll be available there for you. Moving on to news and what's going on. November 12th on Disney Plus, Deadpool and Wolverine will finally be available for you to stream it. Oh, Awkward's in the chat again. I've heard nothing but bad about Joker 2, so I don't even want to try it. You don't need to. There's nothing. You can just search it on Twitter and put ending explained. And it'll tell you everything, and you go, wow, I'm glad I didn't spend my money to go and see all of that. Moving on from Deadpool there. Terry Garr, lovely actress.
I loved her.
Passed away at the age of 79. You know her from roles in Young Frankenstein and Tootsie and Mr. Mom. There's something that I've watched all the coverage about her passing, and they didn't even mention.
Mr. Mom? I love Mr. Mom.
I just said Mr. Mom. It's a movie we talked about last week.
Oh my God. What did we talk about last week? Which one am I missing?
Oh God.
Oh, I forgot she was in that movie. Because I was thinking she was also in Friends. She was Phoebe's mom. But
too. Yeah, she was in Friends. She was Phoebe's mom, but she was the wife in Oh God.
Oh, Completely forgot about it. I gotta go watch that. That's twice now. We've talked about it.
You have to go watch it. It's a
I have to.
fantastic movie.
I loved her. I did love Mr. Mom. That was a good one.
What else do we have here? Oh yeah, Simpsons. Simpsons news for you. This is something that I don't know how they're going to pull it off, but they're going to pull it off. The Simpsons are going to live animate the NFL. So the town of Springfield will host an NFL game in December at the Springfield Adams Stadium, but neither the Adams or the Shelbyville Sharks will be playing in the game. Instead, it'll be the Bengals versus the Cowboys on December 9th. Will be transformed into the world of TV's longest running sitcom, The Simpsons, for a special Fun Day football edition of Monday Night Football. The special Simpsonized broadcast will air on ESPN Plus and Disney Plus streaming services and the NFL Plus mobile app. The game will be broadcast in its regular form on ESPN, ESPN Plus, ABC, ESPN2, ESPN Deportes, and the Ocho. The game will implement tracking technology to turn the players on the field and ESPN commentators names into Simpsons characters here. Now they put out a trailer for us to check out here.
Did you ever see when they did it for Toy Story?
I don't believe I did.
Last season they did it for, I think Nickelodeon did something, but they also did it with Toy Story. They did it on Disney Plus. You can watch, I think it was the Atlanta Falcons, and I can't remember who they played, but they did it and they animated it where it looked like they were playing football on a tiny stadium in Andy's bedroom. And it was actually kind of neat. Like, it wasn't perfect, but it was very impressive for what it was. So now, we're a year removed from that. I'm hoping they've improved a few things, and obviously tying it into The Simpsons. This is going to be fun to watch, even though I can't stand the Cowboys because they suck, and Bengals can kick rocks for all I care. But
tell us how you really feel.
Fuck the Bengals.
Jordan loves the Kelsey brothers, and he loves Kansas City. All right, here's the trailer for the Simpsonized game for the Bengals and the Cowboys.
Two storied rivals will meet on the gridiron. A test of will, of spirit, of determination, in which ultimately only one can prevail.
Looks pretty good so far.
I'm into it.
Face off on
Is that a butt? We're looking at a butt. That's a head.
Oh, there you go. Some hair.
It's Bart and the Bengals versus Homer and the Cowboys, live from Springfield.
Promo.
I'm all in. I don't care what teams are playing. I'll still watch that. That's good.
You got me. And I used to bitch and complain that football used to postpone The Simpsons at Sunday at 8:00 all those years growing up. And now the two are joining forces. And what can I do about that? Absolutely.
That's really good.
Jimmy Fallon's releasing a Christmas album. The collection of tinsel tunes will include previously released singles. It was a Masked Christmas featuring Ariana Grande and Megan Thee Stallion. That's a terrible song. Almost Too Early for Christmas with Dolly Parton, and Wrap Me Up featuring Meghan Trainor. Those I went and checked the other day. Those three are available on Spotify right now, but the rest of the album's grayed out, so you can't get a chance to go and check all that stuff out there. There is a track on there that I'm actually very excited about. I'm trying to skim ahead to see if the article talks about it, and it does not.
I don't think it does. That's why I figured you'd bring it up.
During Justin Timberlake's Tonight Show appearance on September 16th, he and Fallon teased their duet for the upcoming album. It's a silly song. It's called You'll Be There, and it's about I hate bromance stuff.
Yeah, but him and Timberlake are like that. I mean, they did the dick in the box thing. They're bros.
Get it over with and move on with their lives. But there's a song on there, and you'll be excited about this. He did a collaboration, as the kids call it, with Weird Al Yankovic, and it's called the New Year's Eve Polka. And apparently the concept behind it is that all the songs for New Year's Eve are very dull or depressing. So they're doing a very upbeat Weird Al style polka party for New Year's Eve. So that's the only song that I seem to give a care about for this album. Look for it. Weird Al. Another Jack Ryan movie in the works at Amazon. They can't let this stuff go. How many books were there?
I don't remember. To be honest with you, I know they've made. There's been like 5 Jack Ryans, so who knows?
Who's your favorite?
I mean, obviously, I'm going to pick Harrison Ford. Like, I loved Harrison Ford. Although I really did love Hunt for Red October. I mean, Hunt for Red October with Alec Baldwin is still classic.
I was going to say that.
The one that I don't like is Ben Affleck. He did Sum of All Fears, and that was a Jack Ryan movie. And I'm like, I didn't like that.
I'm trying to think what the other Jack Ryan movie is that I liked.
Let's see.
Patriot Games. And Clear and Present Danger. I don't remember if I saw Clear. I might have. But those are the 3 Harrison Ford.
I think
movies.
3 Harrison Fords, 1 Ben Affleck, 1 Alec Baldwin, 1 what's his face? He was in Wonder Woman. Shit, I can't. Chris Pine. Chris Pine did a Jack Ryan movie, and then they did the series with John Krasinski.
Okay.
So now they're going to do a new one with Krasinski.
Oh, another one's being developed for MGM Studios at Amazon. Film as the next stage in the evolution of the Tom Clancy franchise, starring John Krasinski. Doesn't have any dates of when this is coming on. So, all right, there's another Jack Ryan property coming up. The Fantastic Beasts franchise is done. I thought it was after 3 movies. I didn't know they were even looking to continue it, but
there was supposed to be an additional movie that they just aren't going to do.
So that ain't happening. It was mostly because Eddie Redmayne didn't want to do it anymore, right?
Well, the last 2 movies tanked. Like the first one was good. The second movie was mediocre. The third one tanked completely. And it's partly because of the Johnny Depp controversies where he was in the first movie at the end and Colin Farrell was in it. And then he was in the second movie and then all that stuff happened. So they had to switch out his character with another actor, Mads Mikkelsen. And it just, no one cared. No one wanted to see it. And it tanked. So there was supposed to be I think a 4th movie to kind of wrap up their whole story arc, and they're just not going to do it now.
Eddie Redmayne said, I think we've probably seen the last of Newt, which is his character. That was a very frank answer, but yeah. And as far as I know, you'd have to speak to the people at Warner Brothers or J.K. Rowling. But as far as I know, that's it. I may come back in a glimpse at the Universal World in Florida that they're opening up. You may want to catch a glimpse of what Newt was up to in Paris. I think this frees him up to take the role of Doctor Who.
I know you've talked about it. I know you've been pushing. I think you're right. I would love to see him as the Doctor, but I don't think they're going to do it.
So much could be fixed if they had Eddie Redmayne as Doctor Who. But moving on. Trick or Treat sequel in the works. You liked that one, right?
It's my favorite. In fact, I even have this. So basically on the new Trick or Treat 4K Ultra HD edition out now, which I have, it's downstairs. The director, Michael Dougherty, it's weird that this news is coming out through commentary. Like it wasn't put out in the press. It wasn't like something done in an interview. This was literally commentary on the track. What was that?
He said they kind of snuck it in.
They did. So basically in a new commentary track, he confirmed that he's written Trick or Treat 2 with his Krampus collaborators, and it's already been storyboarded, but getting it made and the studio system is being more complicated. He quote, it's tricky because I think we really did capture lightning in a bottle with this one, and it nearly killed me. What a lot of people don't realize is that the bulk of our favorite horror movies, especially the ones that introduced new horror icons, were all independent movies, he explained. And then he talks about like, Halloween, Friday 13th, things like that. He basically says, I want to do it. It's not dead by any stretch. We have some momentum moving into the right direction for sure. But I'm also the belief that I'm not going to compromise or make sacrifice to make a sequel. It has to be under the right conditions and the right resources. So basically he's written this movie, he's storyboarded, he's got ideas of it. He just doesn't know how he wants to get it made. So it's kind of one of those, we know we're going to do it. We just don't know we're going to do it. Right. And it's been in there, basically been talked about since 2013. They've done comic books. They've put out some other media to kind of give you more story.
Funko Pop, right?
Oh, I've got all the Funko stuff up here. Like there's a whole shelf of just Trick or Treat stuff. And then they just put out a what is the? Let's not go fun Kickstarter of a new series of short story comic books for a couple more that I've put into. So. I mean, the media is out there. It's still a very popular character, and it's always at the Spirit Store and all that stuff. But as far as a movie goes, it's kind of like a maybe not happening, but who knows? I have hopes.
Also within the horror genre, Fear Street 4 is being confirmed to be released next year, thanks to a poster that came out. The title of the movie is Fear Street Prom Queen. The first 3 are on Netflix. You can watch them there. And they're part of the R.L. Stine book series. We just talked to him. It's on the New York Comic Con episode. If you want to go check that out, it's available on your feeds and on YouTube there. And another smashing success for R.L. Stine coming to Netflix. Nintendo's launching a music app with all the music from a lot of your favorite properties: Super Mario Brothers, Legend of Zelda, Kirby, Pikmin, Animal Crossing, Metroid, Splatoon 3, Donkey Kong Country, and more. The app will be available on iPhone and Android, and it's also will be available through your Switch stuff too, Switch Online, and your Switch device. It's $3.99 for 1 month or $19.99 for 12 months. And I don't know. I mean, I guess good for them, but do you really have any need for a subscription service just to hear Nintendo music?
I mean, people are into the chiptune stuff and video game soundtracks. So, I mean, there's going to be a niche audience for it, but most of those people that are going to be into that already subscribe to the Switch Online service, so they're not going to be paying for it. They're already going to have access.
All right, fair enough. So, Call of Duty Black Ops 6 scores the franchise's biggest launch ever. I've seen people that specifically play certain games on Twitch that I follow. We're not playing those games the last couple days. It's been Black Ops 6.
It's good.
I've been watching some of the gameplay. I'm so tired of zombie stuff. I've been tired.
I don't play the zombie stuff anymore.
But I'm watching them play the zombie stuff, and I'm like, okay, fine, it is what it is. But I'm just enough with zombies. Zombies, you don't need this. The main storyline, but the main storyline's interesting because it takes place in the 90s with the Gulf War and Clinton and Saddam Hussein and Donald Rumsfeld, and like all of them are not Donald Rumsfeld. Who was Rumsfeld was with the first Bush. He was with the first Bush. Looks okay. No, I get it.
It's awesome. It's fun. I've been playing through it. You're right. It takes place in the 90s. I did a mission where I ran around, did a bunch of stuff. I did a sniper shot. I didn't realize it was going to be that graphic. My son was sitting there going, okay, that was gross. I'm like, all right, maybe you should go to bed. And then I get into like a van and they're playing 9 Inch Nails. And then in one room, it's Faith No More. So they're trying to capture that 90s vibe. And then in one mission, I was trying to get intel and I'm at a Clinton fundraiser and there's Bill Clinton talking and doing stuff. So it's really cool. It looks good. It's on Game Pass, so I didn't pay for it. I mean, it's already within something I've got, so I'm happy about what I've got. I don't know if I would have bought. I'm kind of just done with buying some of these games anymore. I don't need to do the midnight launches.
Me too.
I don't care. If it's on Game Pass, I'll play it. For the most part, I just had a conversation with a friend last night that I want to start going back to some of these LucasArts games and Sierra games again, like Maniac Mansion, Day of the Tentacle, and all that stuff.
My favorite game of all time is the LucasArts game.
I know.
Zach McCracken and the Alien Mindbenders.
It's so good. We were talking about Space Quest.
Oh, yeah. Space Quest is on there.
So good.
Trying to think. Sierra Games. Isn't that Leisure Suit Larry?
That was one of them, yeah.
Yeah. All fantastic.
So I'd rather just go back to those things.
I bought it on Steam a long time ago. I don't think I've played it all. I remember my frustration, the really early games of Larry. It's like there was no hints. I don't know what to do half the time. Right. I don't know where to go and do any of that stuff. But thanks to the modern age of technology, I'm sure I could watch a walkthrough video or find some website telling me everything I need to do. But for Call of Duty, Black Ops 6 has set new opening day and weekend launch records for the 20-plus-year-old franchise with its October 25th release date, according to the Microsoft Gaming. Per data released by the Xbox owner Wednesday, Black Ops 6 with the biggest Call of Duty 3-day opening weekend ever in terms of total players, hours played, and total matches. This is going to be gangbusters for.
Oh yeah, it's going to be great.
Moving on here. Big changes coming to the Grammys.
I was kind of hoping you just do a wrong burgundy and just read straight through. It's good stuff.
The Grammys are getting a new home after more than 50 years on CBS. It's a major shakeup for the TV award landscape because nobody cares about fucking award shows. Nobody cares about it. Even the Oscars have been losing. Like, people used to have Oscar parties. People used to actually be invested which movie would win Best Picture and who would win Best Director. No one cares anymore. It's like enough patting yourself on the back with the shit. Give out the awards and just say you have these awards and move on. Nobody wants to sit there through all that pomp and circumstance anymore because it's just atrocious. The Grammy Awards will move to Disney outlets beginning in 2027. ABC, Hulu, and Disney Plus will simulcast the music industry honors. I don't know why Disney made this move. It's not. It can't.
They're pushing their Disney Plus stuff. Like, that's
no, I know,
all they're
but
doing.
it can't. Maybe they bought it for next to nothing because who cares about this? Whatever. So anyway, they signed a brand new 10-year deal that will run through 2036. So the move will also make Disney the home of what are traditionally the two most watched award telecasts in any given year, with the Grammys joining the Oscars. So 19 people are going to watch this year. So good for them. Scary Movie 6 is in the works, and the Wayans brothers are looking to return. The franchise was created more than 20 years ago, and it's been over a decade since the last film, Scary Movie 5, arrived in theaters in 2013. But on October 29th, the Wayans brothers announced that the plan is to revive the franchise with Miramax and Paramount. Marlon and Sean Wayans, who created the Scary Movie franchise, along with their brother Keenan Ivory Wayans, who directed it. All three brothers will work on the sequel. They said, we cannot be more excited for this, take part in the new Scary Movie and work with each other again. I need to go back and watch those because those were funny.
First two are good.
Funny, yeah.
First two are good because they are the Wayans brothers. The third one,
which is the one that has Chris Elliott as the butler.
Second one,
where
he's got that tiny little hand
holding the turkey.
Not germs, and he's like reaching into the turkey and the mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
So gross.
And then finally, we'll end on this since we talked about it last week. When We Were Young Festival.
Yep.
After we talked about their debauchery with the t-shirts and their merchandise for the 2024 edition, have announced that the 2025 edition is all set and ready to go. There is the lineup. The annual, it's on the screen right there for you to look at. The annual When We Were Young Festival in Las Vegas has yet another stacked lineup of all your hot topic favorites. Ooh. Just weeks after the year's event, organizers revealed the October 18th, 2025 edition will feature the return of Panic at the Disco, who announced their split in early 2023 and played their final shows in 2024 in Europe. Not only that, but the band will celebrate their 20th anniversary of their beloved 2005 album, A Fever You Can't Sweat Out, in its entirety. I'm not a fan of the band. I don't hate them, but I'm not a big fan of them.
Right.
That's great for if you're a fan of a band that reunites and they play their entire first album.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Like it's a good gimmick. The problem with this lineup is it feels like it's just pick and choose from the last couple years. I mean, even Blink 182 and The Offspring played the year that I went. And so like, I don't care. Like, I like Bad Religion, but I can catch them at any show that they come around here every 3 years.
Well,
like, I'm not
do it quick because I think they're 70 now. So
I know, wherein they're like, they look like tax auditors.
They showed up when I was still at Sirius, like over a decade ago. Right. They showed up in there and we're like, they look like math teachers. And then we're like, holy shit, it's Bad Religion. They were wearing
they're just getting coffee. You're just like, hey man,
they were wearing corduroy pants and flannel shirts. Right. And like,
now,
not who
I was surprised, honestly, when they announced this, because what happened was the year that I went, they sold out the first weekend completely. And then, so then they had to move on and sell out or try to sell a second weekend. So that's why they split weekends. This time around, they sold out the first day. So that's why they put on a second show on the Sunday, but they never sold out the second show. So they didn't have a second weekend. And a lot of the rumors were going, well, people already get the gimmick. They don't care anymore. Like, they've moved on. So there's not going to do it. So to see them announce already next year's lineup was actually pretty surprising. I know that's their MO. After the weekend, they'll announce next year's. They did the Sick New World thing, which is their metal alternative rock version of When We Were Young. So they're doing Metallica next spring and stuff like that.
Right.
But this lineup, I kind of don't care. Like, I like Blink 182, but I saw them twice in a year. I don't need to go to When We Were Young for them. Panic at the Disco, there's some songs I like. I've never been totally into them. If I had to go and pick and choose, Fall Out Boy was the band I wanted to see, and I didn't get to see them. Then they announced they're coming to Arizona in February. So now I get to go and I don't have to deal with the When We Were Young crowd. So I'm kind of getting everything I want. I don't need to go to this now. And I'm good with that.
This kind of reminds me of, since they said all your favorite Hot Topic bands, it reminds me when they used to have the CDs up front by the cash register, and it would either be like the Warped Tour compilation or the Punk-O-Rama.
Oh, I used to have a couple Punk-O-Ramas.
Punk-O-Rama ones where like, oh, there's a couple bands like, oh, look, there's The Offspring and Pennywise, and wait, Rancid's on this one, and then I don't know the 19 other bands that are on here.
Right.
So you would pick it up to check the stuff out, or they would then started shifting into when punk goes pop, or when punk goes jazz, or punk goes 90s, or some dumb shit like that. Got really stupid, but the way this lineup is looking reminded me of those Punk-O-Rama CDs. We'd go pick it up and you would just see all the bands on there. Like, I know maybe 4 of these. I don't know the rest of them, but I'll go and give it a chance and check that out. So anyway, that is October of next year.
Yeah. They always do like a year in advance, and then they let you like do layaway and all that stuff.
So you have a year's time now to go and find a friend that will go with you.
I don't need friends anymore.
That is you're learning and growing up. I've never been more proud of you.
No.
All right.
It's funny because actually I think I'm going to Fall Out Boy probably by myself. Like I considered, because the one I'm going to is the Innings Festival. I don't know if you've ever heard that. So they do like baseball themed guests, but then they also just play a bunch of bands in like a baseball field. So they're doing All American Rejects, they're doing Incubus, Fall Out Boy, and a couple other bands that I really want to see. So like I'm gonna go. But I don't have anyone I'm bringing with me. Like my brother's not into what it is. My daughter would be into a couple of bands.
Bring her.
I'm not comfortable enough yet to bring her to that kind of a show, because it's all literally stand around, be in the crowd. Everyone's going to rush the front. Just not my thing. Like I would feel very anxious the whole time with her. Like at least when we went to Blink, we had seats. We just go sit down.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not getting her in the middle of a crowd right now. So, all
right, fair enough. We need to get out of here. Music playing. Jordan, tell us where people can find you on all the social medias.
You can catch me on Instagram and X at Jinxed Ronan, Twitch at Jinxed Ronan 79, and if you want, you can go on to our Twitch channel here at It's Eric Nagel and use your free Amazon Prime subscription and subscribe. Like and subscribe our channel. Check us out, and make sure if you want to hit some super chats in the YouTube, we'll call you out. Say something nice, or say something bad. I don't care. We'll say it. $5. Why not?
If you can't say something nice, don't say something at all. For me and the show and all that stuff, it's Eric Nagel across the board on all the social medias. If you're listening on the iHeartRadio app, thank you very much for doing so. If you're listening on Apple, Spotify, any of those places that you get your on-demand content, do us a kindness. Go over there and leave us a positive review. It does help out the program, because if you don't, we'll know. We can check those things very easily, and you haven't been doing it. So please go over there and leave some positive responses to it. That does help us out. You can join us live each and every week as we do the program in our live rooms on Twitch and on YouTube, both under It's Eric Nagel. Go over there, like, subscribe. As Jordan said, use your free Prime account for Twitch. For YouTube, just hop in there, subscribe. You want to throw some super chats or whatever that stuff around, feel free to. We don't ask you to do that, but if you feel like you want to do that, it's appreciated. And all money goes to Jordan at some place, sometime. We'll get to all of that. I think that'll happen. All right, we're done here. Maybe we'll do something a little different. Let's see. Hold on.
Different is not cool. Oh my God, I forgot you completely had that up.
It's too big. I can't get it to move. Oh, well.
That's funny. I forgot you had the green screen up.
Yeah.
Completely forgot.
Trying. Let's see. My headphones.
Just falling apart right at the end. I'm just limping over that finish line. I'm telling you, one of these times you're going to do that, and there's going to be just someone standing back there.
Oh, that would be if I pull the whole thing away.
Yeah, there's just someone just like waiting for you.
It's like that demon at the end of Late Night with the Devil.
Oh yeah. It
just
splits open. It's just light.
It's like, oh, I'm dead. All right. It was a nice.
Well, we had a good run.
Had a good run as we did it. Okay. Well, that is it. So until the next time, everybody.
Be excellent to each other.
And we'll be seeing you.
It's Eric Nagel.
You could be the next member of the LOD. That's what we call the Legion of Doom.
Oh, is that what it stands for? I thought it was Legion of Dildos.
That is a sex shop down the street with whom we're currently in a protracted legal battle.
Alas, we're out of time.
Follow It's Eric Nagel on social media platforms. For ways to watch and listen to the show, or join us for the live shows, head over to itsericnagel.com. Yo, and remember to tell 2 friends so they can tell 2 friends, and they can tell 2 friends, they can tell 2 friends, they can tell 2 friends. You get the idea.
Keep it real, homies.